Alrighty.
I have looked.
Cool. Everybody's in?
Yeah.
Great. All right, that map will load eventually. So here we are. Just a few minutes after the two princes who staged a bombard on Chose teleported away and left you to clean up the last dozen or so obsidian skeletons who till you deal with them have been continuing to lob fireballs at you from their perch. Like I said last time, I'm not going to make us really play that out because I think you guys have probably won this fight. I don't know. You know, maybe if I tried really hard, I could kill one or two of you before we're done. But we don't really need to roll all those dice just to be safe. So if you want to move around on the map, say where you are. I think we decided last time that once you had defeated the majority of the skeletons here, you were going to try to capture one of them.
Yeah.
Right.
And Ambergreen, you almost died a little bit, but you're okay, right?
That's what it seems like. Yeah, almost died, but I'm okay. I'm unconscious still.
No, you got some healing. You're fine.
I gave you a heal.
I didn't unpip my unconsciousness.
So we'll say you were able to take care of these skeletons in the middle here, and we'll just leave one of them. Does that sound fair?
Sure.
Okay.
He's the one with the broken patella, so he can't get leverage on his knee.
No, we probably would have gotten the one that's in the best condition.
I expect somebody's going to want to jot down notes about these spell circles before we wreck them.
Oh yeah, we're going to keep one, I believe, for Dex and Vander research.
Okay. And you'll scratch out the other three.
Yeah, we don't need them around.
Okay.
I can do an erupting earth or something to break them up.
Yeah, easy enough. So you're able to this skeleton, like many of the other. It should be clarified that these skeletons are not all human. They're humans, dwarves, dragonborn, elves, like all the types of skeleton you'd expect from your average group of people, right, are here.
But each one is one individual skeleton. It's not mixed match bones.
Well, I'd say that's something that you'd actually, upon investigating some of them, that might be something you'd actually specifically notice. That yes, in fact, aside from the large horde, which is made of a large number of bones, including some that are probably non-human or non-humanoid, you'd definitely be able to notice, especially as you were cleaning up these last few, that the skeletons are almost in all cases appear to be matching pieces. The dragonborn skeletons have dragonborn parts, and the tabaxi skeletons have tabaxi parts. There's a few mismatches here and there. There's one tabaxi skeleton up doing the spell casting that you notice has a human foot, which is a bit strange. So, Alistair, it's going to be a little bit difficult for you to just gather the gold and obsidian, because looking around at some of the shattered skeletons, it's clear to you that these are real skeletons that have been coated somehow with obsidian and then gilded.
Well. So my thought is, the obsidian is going to be really hard, but the gold will be easy. Once we get it back to the city, we can just like melt it off. It is a.
I figured you just use heat for the entire process. One round would be melting off to get the gold, and then the second round would be burning away as much of the bone as you can.
And you got like pieces of obsidian that look like bone.
Well, while you're investigating the situation,
The fingers and toes idea is a good one, though. Sorry.
obsidian can be melted. In fact,
It can.
according to what I've looked up, yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's a volcanic glass, so it seems like
Yeah.
it ought to be. I've just never seen it done. So.
Oh,
It's-
true.
It
Volcanic
requires
glass.
enough
Yeah,
heat.
it was
and
melted
maybe
first.
Pressure.
Alvis Taver's going to throw down a
Um,
something by Keen if he notices who just showed up.
Yeah, she, the brigadier, arrives alone, riding one of the goats, and I mean, you were all just doing your cleanup, so I assume most of you are up here at the top by now, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Can I go ahead and do? Let me see. I don't know. I may not have spell slots. Never mind.
So she hops off the goat saddle and she surveys the remains that are scattered around this area, and she sees you all up there wrangling the last few things, and she shouts, "I'm sorry I took so long. We had to put out a bunch of fires. Are you all okay?"
Yeah, for the most part.
Yeah.
I huff.
We're alive.
Slide down.
We saw some things. It was quite an interesting encounter there. I think we have a lot of different things to talk about and put all the pieces together, as we didn't all exactly see what everybody was doing.
Yep, and there are several people who are quite low on health.
Okay. Albus, are you like barreling into her, or just kind of?
Yeah, no, that there's just like slide down the hill and then run up and then like,
She'll catch you with the one arm if you get to the point where you're gonna bump into her.
oh hell yeah, no exaggeration. If I see that, do I have a high enough insight to know that's coming?
What's your passive insight?
+9.
Oh, probably.
Sweet. No, that's definitely happening. And I'll be over the mic. I'll be all like, yeah, we're okay.
What she catches you. She says, "Oh, you're all right."
Yeah, for the most part, actually. It's
Alright.
Keen that was banged up.
She
Also, evergreen.
she straightens you up, releases the shoulder. She says, "Was there who brought this here? Was it one of the dragons?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, it must have been, right?"
Two of them. Two princes.
Two of them.
As they say, 2 princes. One.
Around again and says,
Apparently, one prince is the human dragon. Looks human. Can do dragon as well. The other is a dark elf. Both princes.
Elf.
What is it? Oh,
Heart
Heart Elf. Sorry.
Yeah.
He looked like a dark elf on his icon.
No worries.
Not that I would know the difference, to be honest.
Dark elves are purple, in fact.
Wasn't his icon like purple?
No, he's here. I'll show him for you.
Yeah, yeah,
Thought it
like
was
bronze
darker.
hair, right? Or skin, I mean.
There he is.
Oh, okay. So gray brown. All right.
Scale though.
Yeah, he's big now.
So anyway, yeah. Thank you.
She says,
So
She
Dad
looks
gets around.
looks around at the battlefield and then takes a mental tally and then says, "Don't tell me they got away again."
Yeah, they teleported out.
Left the cow.
Damaged.
Damn.
They were damaged and they skedaddled.
I even gave them a formal duel. Or at least the offering.
Well, looks like you won
We did.
for the
But-
most part. Well,
Well, we stopped them this time anyway.
yeah.
They had did we count up how many players on the field? It was
50, maybe 100.
60.
By your count, it was upwards of 100. You're sure?
Yeah.
What's that you've got there? You captured one?
Yes. We were going to try to reverse engineer the technology. Not only of that, but of the spell circles that they were using to lob fireballs. I'm thinking if we can get these on the walls and learn how to use them.
Well, we'll have plenty of time to think about that. And just then, you're struck by the ripple of the first wave, indicating that the redshift has begun.
I shout that we should retreat back. Lick our wounds.
Yeah, we'll have
Yeah.
plenty of time to survey this and study. But come on, let's get you all back in town. And Van is making sure the forest doesn't burn down right now.
Is the stone that was ripped up here, is this geologically logical for the area?
To you, Aldous Taver, you imagine that if there were a storm, like a significant storm, maybe some of these pillars might topple over. But aside from that, you're pretty confident that this would remain fairly stable.
Well, not just stable, but I mean natural to the area. Was this like summoned up via magic, created alchemy?
Yeah.
Or is this like stone?
What's with the crazy amphitheater? Yeah, I agree.
Anybody can make a nature or arcana check.
It looks very conjured.
Nice.
to
Oh,
me.
no shit!
Oh, for God's sake.
Give me a second. Okay. Click my token.
You said
The two of us nature connected are like,
I said nature or arcana, yes.
Sweet. I'm going out the
I have +4 nature and I rolled shit.
I'm going via the route of trying to see like how the stone came to be here, whether it was like brought up, created or
Great rolls, everybody.
Thank you for sharing.
They're all average.
Nimbus, you're pretty sure that something like this probably wasn't just summoned up. It was probably carved using. I mean, you could, in theory, do it by hand, but the fact that it wasn't here yesterday means it was probably done with a pretty powerful spell.
Right. I got
Right, how would that be done in D&D where this would take time to produce? How would that be done?
Well, here's
I mean, it wasn't here before they showed up. So
here's the thing. I'm wondering We saw them burrowing through the ground and then emerging out from this site. Is this what the end of a tunnel they can burrow sort of looks like here?
You didn't see anybody burrowing, no.
No. What did we see in the distance?
The brigadier, she mentions that they somewhat snuck up on us. We had lookouts looking this way, but they must have been just out of sight over this hill till that army rolled over, and then
the skeletons did pop out of the ground.
No, you didn't see that happen. That did not happen.
Oh, okay.
She says they must have put this together pretty quickly before any of our lookouts noticed them, and then they started launching those fireballs.
Yeah, that's a lot of casual magic to just sling around.
It is more than I would expect, especially if it was underground and then kind of came to the surface. But okay.
Well, considering how many of these creatures are around us, they're in a lot of pieces, but I get an idea of what you had to deal with. I'd say we're dealing with some not so casual magic myself.
Yeah.
Not a wizard over here, of course.
If I am not mistaken, I even overheard one of them shouting out at the skeletons, "You didn't die for this," or something like that. As if these are the skeletons of people they knew from some whatever. I have no idea. Seems weird.
So could the Hard Elf be a warlock? Or some other kind of wizard that dabbles in necromancy?
Perhaps.
This is an OOC question. Is there any other class that has access to actual necromancy besides warlock?
Wizards.
Yeah, funny.
Wizard, okay.
I think
Wizards, clerics.
sorcerers, some clerics.
It's a school, yeah.
Probably even some edgelord bards.
Okay.
It would be a
Oh, and
little
if,
challenging to. I mean, really, the class titles are not an in-universe distinction so much.
Okay.
So it's kind of hard to like get. If you studied the person, you could probably make a distinction about like what sort of talents specifically they might have. And there are certain rules that go with the certain classes. Like a warlock will probably have a patron that they talk to, and a wizard will probably have a spellbook that they reference.
Okay. I just was looking at having summoned an army of, from what Nimbus said, sounds like raised skeletons, so undead. I mean, it kind of suggests undead. Then we're talking about somebody who has necromantic arts.
The army was not his doing. Actually, I heard him mention to his brother that he needs to work on these skeletons.
Also, I tried to turn them twice, and both times my spirit energy kind of like, I learned that they weren't undead exactly. They were more like constructs built with undead parts.
Yeah. But
Interesting.
But that aside,
Angela,
actually,
didn't you have some success with that?
Oh, I did, but I did it with Arcana.
no, you said Angela.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, and she says they were definitely undead. But yes, it was. I had to concentrate a little bit more than I usually do to smite them. They're unusual.
Interesting. Okay.
So those were Daymare's constructs then, right? We had heard that was what Daymare dealt in.
At least I heard that
They were listening to him.
that the elder brother said that the younger brother needs to work on these skeletons.
Right, so that was Daymare who was working on the skeletons, making the other one Arcturus? Question mark?
Yes.
Turris was the human dragon, yeah.
Right, the one who had been commanding the kobolds that we
Right, exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's a liberal use of the word liberated.
Well, some of them were liberated.
Yeah. Well, all of them were really, and depending on how you think about it.
Fair. Certainly.
Speaking of them, how did they handle the whole battle?
I don't think we need to worry about them too much. I made sure to get them to safety, so they're okay.
All right.
Everybody else at Chose is fine, and Van was able to protect the obelisk, so we should be okay as long as they don't teleport back here. So let's just keep an eye out, I suppose.
Okay, well, they may come back, but hopefully we can get in a long rest and regain our health and stuff before then.
At least they won't be able to march again. The Redshift is on the way.
Yep.
That works in our favor for once.
Sounds like they're both at a point where their armies are depleted and they have to rebuild them again. No idea how long that takes for either of them.
I'm not sure that I heard it correctly, but it sounded like when Arcturus was picking up Daymare to teleport out, he said that Dad was going to be really pissed.
Mm-hmm.
So,
because they couldn't even get one of us.
Right, that could work in our favor as well. But I do think that once the Redshift is over, I think I will probably want to go north again. But this time I want to go actually up to that location. Last time we were able to intercept the kobolds, which is what prevented them from burning down Chose. Those cauldrons were filled with stuff that would have just annihilated the city.
Yeah, as you're all walking back to Chose, Jaberlack says if we had to deal with that from two sides at once, I'm not sure we would have been able to do it.
I agree. But that was as difficult as it was to enter into battle again, already being kind of, low on spell slots and health and all that stuff. I'm really glad we were able to remove the cauldrons from the field of battle, because I'm not sure we could have really done that.
Reverse engineering those would be nice too.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to some food and some rest.
Exactly.
Do I do erupting earths on a couple of these before we go?
Yeah, you can if you want to, and you've got the spell.
I have only 2 spell slots left.
What's the radius on that?
What?
Can I just use mold earth to blast these away?
Oh, probably.
Yeah, I'll just do that then.
It's sand, and they're kind of carved into the rock, but mold earth lets you... does it let you fuck with rock?
No. Not yet. I don't think
you might have to erupting earth them then.
Okay.
They're kind of carved into the sand in such a way that, like, if you scraped away all the sand, there'd still be a relief of them in the stone just below.
Okay, so I only have, like I said, I only have 2 spell slots left, so I'm going to do this one.
Right, you can do that, and you could do that,
and this one
can Hulk the other one of them. Yeah.
I was going to say I
can
could
do
shatter
these
the
2
other one
on the east side.
It might work. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So you could definitely do that, Naya. So you managed to destroy 3 of these circles. They're not very useful anymore, and you'll keep 1 for now to potentially study.
Okay, which one did we keep? North or south?
South.
Okay.
All right, let's head back. Me tired.
All right. So you head back to Chose. Short walk, about 15 minutes at most. There is.
Brigadier, I've got a question. From
Go
when
ahead.
we were starting and being earlier back, maybe Dex might be a better person to answer this. We thought the Redshift originated from the tower. Are we still sure? Has anybody actually been looking out the looking glass at the tower at the start of things to confirm that it starts from there?
Well, take a look. What does it look like to you? And if you look, I mean, actually, roll perception because it's still pretty far away.
I've looked. Nice perception.
Nimbus, you might not be able to see it quite there because it's a little difficult to see at this range. But at the very least, Naya would be able to see. A little bit as close as you are to the tower, it's almost not quite. Ma, I'm sorry, but we can hear your keyboard.
Sorry about that.
No problem. Where was I? The Redshift, it spreads in a dome over Vesov. Naya, you've noticed this might be even the first time you've noticed it, that as relatively close to the tower as you are, it appears as a dome from where you are, and right now the Redshift has only started about 20 minutes ago, so it's still very small, and slowly spreading, imperceptibly from this different distance. But it's spread enough. It appears more as a sphere whose bottom third is still below the horizon. But there's a sphere encircling part of that tower that has not fully grown to size yet.
Like a whole bubble? Like it's bubbled?
Yeah. As though that bubble will spread. Eventually, it will turn into a dome as it gets big enough.
Interesting. Okay, so I tell everybody what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
And it does seem to originate from Vesov, from the tower.
Yeah. So, I'd say so. Somewhere in that tower, yes.
I'll have to be awful close with the camp that we're going to use, which would mean we're going to have safety and security. Right now, the closest we have is
All Saints,
and I'm sure it is quite defensible. In fact, we have a duty and obligation to get some stalwart folks there to help liven up the area.
we have to make sure that these dragons aren't going to harry us again, I think.
I'm sure they will, but it will probably take time.
Yeah.
And before then, we may hear back from Vashta.
By now, you've returned to the city gate, the outer city gate. It's a short hike through the outer ring of the city into the central city where your actual camp proper is located. And I think I was saying before, dark smoke rises in thin wisps from a few places, especially around the forested areas of the city that the children have grown in the past months. You can see that one of the larger trees has been completely petrified, turned to stone. And it bears signs of burning and scarring already.
Petrification. Instead of just burning it to the ground.
Van flies out to meet you as you approach the central city. He says, "You're all alive."
Well, of course.
Yeah.
We're tired, though.
You know,
Did
I
you kill a
realized,
dragon?
man, we probably should have just had you going after the big guy when we were fighting him initially. Instead of letting him fly out there, we could have perhaps turned him to stone. That would have made the rest of this a whole hell of a lot easier. But we'll have our opportunities, don't you worry.
Well, you're not wrong. I would have been worried about the city burning down. I saved as much as I could. The obelisk is fine.
Oh no, I don't mean in this encounter. I mean when we ambushed them on the road.
Next time I see that man, I'll do my best to turn him to stone.
Yeah, or really anytime you're close to any one of them, just
And don't forget his brother.
all eyes ahead. Just give him hell.
That's the idea.
Give them whichever version of hell your eyes decide to give them. Not to say your eyes give people, send them to hell, just there are many different flavors of what your eyes do, and there are many different flavors of hell, so it is a metaphor.
Oh,
You're a great
Ambergreen,
guy.
what happened to you? You look like death.
Huh?
You look terrible.
Oh, he might have a concussion or something.
He's out of it.
Yeah.
He's ambulatory. That's good.
There was a lot of them.
About 100.
You got him though, right?
Huh?
Yeah. Not only did we get the 100, there was an extra bonus cluster in that giant worm that we were fighting.
Yeah, it was a mess.
And then the 2 dragon brothers.
There were a lot.
Yeah.
He
Summoned
seeing
spirit.
seeing the skeleton that you are shambling along, he grabs it with his telekinesis and he says, "Oh, you captured one.
Yep.
Oh, that's perfect."
Yep. Research subject.
We also left you a spell circle so you and Dex can take a look at it and see if there's anything useful. We wrecked the other 3.
This one might even be able to be convinced to do the 4 different dances in the different positions that, or I guess it was the same dance that the 4 of them were doing at each spell circle to fire the fireballs. That could be something we could learn to harness in some way.
Oh, you are all too good to me. I will take this. I will, maybe after the Redshift, we should go have a look at those.
I made a copy.
Awesome.
Yep, because there's no
as
guarantees
always.
it won't get wiped away in the Redshift.
I got all the material with my cartographer stuff, so.
That's a
After
good
all.
thought, actually. Lucien, how many of these, he motions at the skeleton, are right there? Because, perhaps I should go disintegrate the remains, before the Redshift arrives.
But think of the gold.
I mean, that is probably pretty safe.
Oh, there is a bit of gold in there.
Yeah, it's the gold and obsidian coated bones.
And then there's the worm thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's any value to that for you.
Well, it was mostly bones. It was just the same sort
Okay.
of bones plus the skull thing, which I think was just a bunch more bones.
The brigadier says we should probably get rid of them the best as we can. At least get them out of the Redshift. I don't know if we have space for some 100-odd skeletons in here.
We'll just get Smitty down to processing them and melting them down for raw. raw supplies.
Angela says, "Look, these are clearly the remains of people. We should be putting them to rest. First of all,
Through cremation, exactly.
I mean, if that's how you want to justify it, then yes, in a sense. Well, I'll help haul them if that's what we want to do.
Leaving the city, man.
I'd hate to see them walking again, in case the Redshift decides to do that.
Exactly.
At the very least, you can pass your eye over them to make sure any magic has been dispelled.
Well,
Van
looking at
says,
I pick up a skull and I try to pull out some of the golden teeth.
Van says, yes, okay, we'll do it this way. In the meantime, you all don't think about anything else but getting some rest after this.
Yep, that was the thought. That
Definitely.
Go lie in a bed or whatever you like.
I gotta fix up poor Keen here. Write up an incident report.
And he says, and after you're all rested up, I'm gonna have Mercutio break out the meat and the ale because we're gonna celebrate tonight because we won.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
That's a good idea.
I lift up one.
That was a pretty intense battle, actually.
I like an ale. That'd be nice.
It
And
was
the
good to
optimal
actually see everybody
strategy after
fighting.
winning a major battle is to celebrate it with the participants so that their morale remains high and they are willing to throw themselves at the next battle. It's just good practice.
Yep. But
Dan, I like that you can be loud when I can't.
You know what, Kuromizawa?
You're very welcome.
You stayed on your feet this time. Good on you, fella.
Hey, I did. You know, I thought me and Amber Green were gonna die.
yeah, for a second I did too.
You were in pretty deep. I didn't. I had a lot of things to focus on, so I didn't really see too much of what was going on down there. But yeah, I wasn't sure if I had to start rushing through danger to try to blast things away.
You know, I thought I had a Steel Panther watching my back, but all of a sudden it was on the other side of the field. And then I was surrounded by skeletons. Maybe I imagined it.
No. We go Zoom. Usually.
Oh, we got him in the end. That's what matters, isn't it?
I figured, well, I've had a lot of luck in previous encounters. They can attest. I figured, with Jabberlax by my side, I felt a little, maybe a little penisy and like, maybe my joke about feathers going in places where tiny tarts might come out of would come off as a good joke. And apparently the prince didn't find it funny. It was astonishing. He's one of the few to ever shrug off that one.
By the way, I probably would have used a floating disc to bring the Keen machine back for repair.
It can move, but very slowly.
Yeah, but exactly, very slowly. We're not
also.
at a pace that we wouldn't have just abandoned it on that walk back home. So
I would not have abandoned it.
no, absolutely not. And so that's why I would have Could have hoisted it up on the floating disc and then just, makes everything easier.
Well, we'll head down to later this evening after some of these bones have been collected, the rest disintegrated.
Oh wow! Why does this token of Keen actually have health?
I don't know, honestly.
That's amazing. Well, I mean, it is later in the day, so.
Yeah, you'll have to roll a few hit dice for her because she does roll hit dice to recover. But
She does.
what's her max health? It's 37.
37, and
Yeah.
she has D10s, I think.
Yeah, she has 5d10. So you can roll as many of those as you like. Because I'm going to ask everybody to, before we head to the evening, hit the long rest button and level up to level 10 because you all gained 5,000 experience points each.
Nice.
For the
Yay!
events of the past
Woo!
few days.
Dope. So I'm at 65.3. Nice.
66.4.
And now I will long rest.
Yeah, go ahead and hit the long rest button. Everybody needs to roll health. So you just roll one hit die for that and then add the result to your max HP. Max HP is the number below the heart, like at the bottom of the heart.
Right. What do we roll for that?
You just
Just
roll
one
one of
hit
your
dice.
hit dice.
Oh yeah. What is my hit dice?
Nice.
Oh, yes.
Very nice.
That's a good one.
That's for Keen.
Yeah, okay.
How many hit dice do I run?
You just roll one, and it doesn't consume it. You're just rolling to get your HP level up.
Shit.
7.
Where's that button?
Not terrible. You rolled a 5. Albus, you rolled 2 of those. I don't know if that was intentional.
Yeah, I just finished it off because I rolled 2 fucking ones.
So I get 7,
okay.
right?
Yeah, you get a +7 to your max HP, Naya.
Okay.
Where's the button? It's 10, 10, D8.
It's the D8 is clickable. It'll ask you how many you
Wow.
are.
Just one, right?
Nice.
That'll do.
Perfect.
Hell yeah.
man.
I mean, if you're gonna get your crits, hit dice is not a bad place.
That's where you get them, right?
All right, we need hit dice from Nimbus and from Albus.
Also, I'd like you all to take a look at my max hit dice here in a sec.
Oh,
Nice, not that bad.
Womp.
Because it's nice.
it had to happen to somebody at some point.
Yeah, it's fine. I'll take it since I already have 5 con. A minimum of 6. Oh no! Oh no! 6 HP for a wizard who's already got 81 HP.
Right.
What's your max HP, Ambergreen? 69, dudes!
Nice.
Very nice, sir.
Nice.
And Albus Taver rolled a respectable 6 on the die.
Out of a D10. So
Yeah.
+2, I got I got D10. Or, sorry,
Yep.
I got, blah. Yes.
You've got
Right
a
up the
decent
bell
roll there
curve.
too, Naya.
I'll take it. It's 59 now. So,
HP up.
I did not see an addition to Nature's Sanctuary, so I'll have to add that manually.
Oh, sorry. What are you looking for?
It did not get added automatically with a level 10, with a level
Nature's Sanctuary is your level 14 feature.
up. Oh, well, that would explain that. Nature's
Nat-
Ward.
Nature's Ward is the one that you want.
Let me make sure. No, I have Natural Recovery, Land Stride. Those are level 2, level 6, but nothing.
Yeah,
Nothing
you might
for
just
10.
have to add a class feature on the sheet manually.
Okay.
You just copy paste in the text because it's not like a damage dealing or anything, so it's pretty
10th
easy.
level, I get Nature's Ward, and then you said I get another cantrip?
Yeah, so always check the chart at the top of the page for every level up. It tells you your proficiency bonus, which stays the same. It tells you what features you get, which is your Druid Circle feature. It says how many cantrips you know, which is now you get 4, so you learn 1 more. And then it says how many spell slots you have, so you're getting an extra 5th level spell slot.
Actually, I wonder. It says cantrip known. Cantrips known at level 10, 4. So I
Yeah,
didn't get an extra.
Yeah, you get one. Because
I already had 4.
I think you have an extra cantrip because
like
your
a
circle,
circle,
right?
Post?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Your Circle of the Land gives you 1 bonus cantrip. So,
Okay. All right.
yeah, so you should have a total of 5 cantrips.
Check that out.
By the way, on that website, if you click cantrips known, it will bring you to a page of just cantrips that you can learn as Druid. Intelligence modifier to 1 damage roll. So, yeah, okay, nice.
That's even cantrips, which is great. Because
Oh, yeah.
now my frostbite is 2d6 plus 4, and next level it becomes 3d6 plus 4. And of course, being cold, I'm able to do the bypass thing.
Yep. All right, very nice.
What am I going to get?
Any idea what cantrips y'all are taking?
I'm looking through the list.
Cantrip too.
Got Gust. Probably need a fire of some kind to cover the 4 elements. Fire. Well, let's see. I got surrounded a couple times in that battle. I didn't really like that much.
No,
Um,
I can relate. AoE for the win, right? As long as you can get it, but not on a cantrip.
oh yeah, it's on a cantrip for sure. For sure.
I don't have any. At least not so far.
I have few options. I believe I have Thunderclap, which is you create a burst in a thunderous sound. It's gonna be
As a
heard.
cantrip?
Yeah, oh yeah. You create a burst of thunderous sound. It's gonna be heard 100 feet away. Each creature other than you within 5 feet of you must make a con saving throw or take 1d6 thunder damage. Bard, Druid, Sorcerer, Warlock, Wizard,
Oh, it's at
Artificer.
the end of my list. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So if you want something to AoE blast around you, it'll hurt your buddies too. So be careful because you're gonna hurt the Shield Master. But
Mending Mold Earth.
yeah, Mold Earth is good. I've been using that a lot.
I keep thinking it would be fun to have, I don't know what they're called for other, like Mage Hand for Alvis. So there's a name for that class of spell, and it seems like some of that could be really fun, minorly useful.
Mage Hand is Conjuration.
Mage Hand's not an option for me, but
I see what you're saying. Oh, I get what you're saying.
Druidcraft has potential to be fun, but probably not super useful.
I love it as something that my character in the Saturday game has innately. It's so cool as like a character. It's very good as one of those innate, like, this is just something I know sort of spells. But you're right, in terms of its overall utility, you don't need a druid to know which way the wind blows.
Right.
Lights, chill touch. Well, there's always good old Firebolt. 120 feet evocation, so I can bump it. It's got a nice sturdy 1d10 damage, lights things on fire. You know, that's probably gonna cover.
Sir, can you clarify on Thunderclap?
Yeah.
It says you create a burst of thunderous sound that can be heard up to 100 feet away. Each creature within range, other than you, must make a con saving throw. Does that mean that my party members have to be 100 feet away or I'm causing damage?
No, the range of the spell is 5 feet at the top there.
Oh, okay. It doesn't. Maybe I scrolled down. Range 5 feet. Awesome. Okay, I think that may be why I never took this before.
It's
I
also
thought
I
thought everybody was gonna be. I was gonna ding everybody, and it wasn't gonna be worth it.
It's
Okay.
also a Xanathar's guide spell, so you'll have to type it into the character sheet yourself.
Okay,
Unfortunately.
so I think I'm gonna go ahead and take Thunderclap as a cantrip,
Cool.
and I think
Amber Green, you got your cantrip already, right?
Well, I mean, I don't like earn a new one. I just get 5 per turn or per, right?
No, you now know one more cantrip than you did.
Oh, well,
like me.
I have 5.
Total. Do you get a bonus cantrip already?
I think he did.
I thought so. Well, I have 5 total already. So
I think all the main casters get one at 10. I might be mistaken.
What are your cantrips?
Blessing of the Trickster, Guidance.
Okay. I know why. That
Blessing is not a cantrip.
That is an action that you have that we turned into a cantrip for convenience. It's not a cantrip.
Gotcha. So I guess I get 1 more cantrip.
You do.
It even says cantrips 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up there.
Yep.
I should make it say 6, huh?
Yep, it does say 5 for cleric. Cool.
And make sure you get that extra 5th level spell slot. You should have 2 5th level spell slots now.
I do.
Good.
It showed up as soon as I leveled.
Yeah, mine too.
That is where the character sheet is correctly programmed.
Okay, so does that mean I need to prepare another spell?
Yeah, because you leveled up, you'll get to prepare one more spell as well.
Okay.
Because it's your character level plus your wisdom for both of you, right?
Okay.
So character level has gone up by 1.
Well, that'll be handy because the class stuff is already always prepared, but
Yeah.
okay. So I need to add thunder.
All right. So while you're all finishing that up, you can continue finalizing your 10th level character sheet.
Let me ask you an odd question.
Sure.
If I reserve an action to use control flames to extinguish an incoming flame because I know somebody's going to cast a fireball at me or that one's going to come down from the sky or something, could I reserve the action and use my reaction to control flames to extinguish the flame within a 5-foot cube? Try to
You
blast
choose
it out of thin air.
non-magical flame that you can see within range.
You're right.
However,
it is
if
non-magical.
you wanted to, if a fireball set something on fire and you wanted to prepare to unignite whatever it sets on fire, then that is no longer magical flame.
Right, that's true. I think it's cool, but the fact that it can't make fire, it only controls fire, makes control flames. Maybe not. Yeah, okay. I'm going to do Firebolt. Search it here. No, that's art library. I don't want art library.
So no, during the time this whole like training montage is happening, Alvis Taver, uh, like goes to Lucent when he finds her like during a like not busy time,
Yeah.
and is like, so you got to teach me that thing that fighters do.
Oh.
The thing like that like all competent fighters seem to be able to do. How do you do the thing with the attacking super quickly?
Well, personally, so some people, some colleagues of mine I've run with before, they may be more suited to the type of thing that you're looking for, which is yes, you take the sword and you swing it many times as you become proficient in being able to connect those blows more efficiently rather than flailing it wildly as a child might do.
Yeah, it takes a lot of effort to do that. Like, I almost feel like a surge of energy is needed in order to take that action.
Personally, I have always been more inclined to put the effort into a single decisive strike myself instead. I have been called a brute for that, but I have always believed that there's no need to get terribly over fanciful with a sword when hitting once really properly does the job just fine.
That's cool. Can you teach me how to do that? OOC, can I learn how to do that?
She says, well, you mainly use your whip, right?
I also have the rapier, but yeah,
Right.
I mainly use my whip. You're absolutely right. The rapier is the hard hitter. Whip does some nice damage, though. I really ought to figure out something else with it, but I've been lacking in imagination when it came to the whip.
Tell you what, if you like, we can spend this week. I'll run you a few drills that my old teacher taught me once for focused around precision and moving your own body weight correctly to activate that precision.
His eyes sparkle
We'll set
like
up some of
amethysts.
we'll set up some of the sandbag dummies and play with them for a few hours.
Oh, fantastic. There's also another thing I need to ask you, way less interesting, which is why I saved it for last.
Okay.
I kind of need you to sign off on this special case incident report that I'm writing up for my guild.
Do you have the paper ready for her?
I absolutely do. Like a sleazy businessman, I like pull it out of my vest, in like a protected leather lambskin sort of like binder folder thing.
Okay, so
other paperwork.
She unfolds it and starts reading it.
So essentially, what you're signing here is a witness who can also what was the word? You needed to be an official witness, and I figured because you were, it was officiated. Yes, an officiated witness, and because you're an officer of, the military, the empire, that you probably have to sign and stamp paperwork. So you could be not only the witness, but the person who signs off as, the witness for the the officiate, that person. But this here. I don't exactly know how it works, but I am requesting of my guild health aid, sort of an insurance for I feel the damage caused to me when we helped cure the tree has brought me down, and I am unable to complete perhaps work at an ability that I believe the guild might be able to fix with perhaps the what's the word, acquisition of a small magical item that would help me concentrate on mental intellect abilities in particular.
You want to get some compensation for your injuries.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. I've even, I've been a little bit less stingy, and I've dropped the last of my gems here in order to make my findings seem a little bit more substantial, at least in my eyes, so that perhaps that would sway them to.
Well, in that case, I'm glad you asked me. I'd be happy to. I'll fill this out tonight and send it off for you, if you like.
5 years working with you, and I've never made you sign anything. Thank you so much.
I've signed a few things. I might not have told you about them, but they're here and there.
Oh, that frightens me.
Don't worry about it. It's mostly contracts that nobody will ever read.
Oh.
I'm sure they'll toss them all into a pit once we're all done out here.
Well, I did put in that personal request to work with you, but that's neither here nor there.
That's right. Yeah, so she takes it under her arm and continues what she was doing, which was taking notes in her own notebook, tallying up who needs to be evacuated where and who needs to be unevacuated, and getting her check-in list ready for the incoming Redshift so that she can verify the safety of everyone in the commission.
Is there any busy work that you need help with? I feel guilty trying to move off.
She says, I'm fine. Leave me be and take a nap, man.
Fantastic.
Lol.
Go rest. I don't want to see you outside until dinner's ready.
I moved by to go work on Keen a little bit more.
All right. Okay, Montlarin has a paragraph here for me.
Yep.
If this is during the same time, I might hang back like a creep just to listen to what he's saying, and then move on.
Fire resistant trees. It's a good idea, and I know there are some species of tree out there that are a little resistant to fire. Do you think they'd survive well out here in the arid?
Do you think the Mara would know about them?
It won't be arid
I suppose.
forever, is my
That's true.
thought, and the Mara might be able to keep them thriving in the meantime.
That's not a bad idea.
Okay, sir, I'm going to post this. Let me know if it doesn't look right yet.
Yeah, let's see it. Okay, cantrip, one action. Mostly correct. Let's see.
It's missing something, though. But I don't know what.
So your components are wrong. It's supposed to be just somatic.
Right, so I put in the S, right?
You changed the VSM to S instead.
Oh, I thought I just add
drop-down.
which one it is. Okay, never mind.
You're missing evocation above that, above the casting time. You can delete the text for evocation, cantrip, duration, instantaneous, all that stuff that you put into the body.
Yeah, it's basically cut and paste.
And let's see.
You said get rid of that evocation cantrip thing?
Yeah, you don't need those lines because that's just copying the stuff that's right above it.
Range 5 feet, I probably need.
Yep. Well, no, you've already got the range field. You've got those casting time, range, components, and duration are these fields. You don't need to put them in the description because that's just repeating the same exact.
Oh,
info.
I see. Okay.
And then you're gonna want to hit the gear icon on the spell and hit the checkbox for a saving throw. Make it a Constitution saving throw, and you're 10th level, so it's going to be the damage on it will be 2d6 thunder damage that you can put in for that saving throw.
All right. It asked me what kind of damage I put in thunder. Con saving throw. Yeah. DC 17.
Yeah, that sounds correct for you.
Wisdom.
Yeah, so it's a con saving throw, and then it's based off your wisdom for the DC, so that's correct.
Saving throw failure. 2d6, right?
Yeah, 2d6, and then you can put thunder in the damage field.
Okay. 2d6 per level?
1d6 per level.
Okay.
Actually.
That's what it filled in. All right.
Yeah. And then you don't need the 2d6 anywhere else. It should work fine. If you do that, then it should cast correctly.
I don't like the cantrip as 0 thing. That doesn't look right.
Yeah, cantrips are 0. Here, I'll take a look at your character sheet while you're editing it.
Well, it fixed a couple things, but
yeah, you're still not rolling damage on it. Can you open it up in edit mode again?
okay, it's open.
Okay.
I want to see what I did wrong.
Yeah, so you put the check mark on the okay.
Put it on special instead of attack.
Yeah, it should be on saving throw instead of special. So uncheck special, put it on saving throw. Turn it into a drop-down con saving throw.
Okay, thunder damage.
In the saving throw success field, you can write down no damage.
Okay.
And then saving throw failure, you put down 1d6. Take the d6 from the drop down, and then it should. And then in the field after thunder damage, you should be able to write in 1d6 per. You should be able to write in 1 per level, and it'll turn into a d6 once you take the d6 from that drop down. One d6. Yep. Yeah, then you just need that one
d6 per level. I don't understand that.
Yeah, so it says thunder damage, and then there's a box that you could type in, and then it says d6 per level.
I totally missed what that said. Okay, so 1d6 or 2d6?
Yeah, 1d6 per level, because it goes up by 1d6 every time you get every 5 levels.
Shit, I didn't even see that. Okay.
That should work, so give it a try. Alright, that's wrong somehow. Oh, I know what happened. Can you open it up again?
Yeah. Okay.
You didn't actually type a 1 in before the first 1d6. That's a ghost 1 there.
Oh, you're right. It is a 1. I mean, it's a ghost.
I'm actually not sure if that higher level works with cantrips. You might just have to put in 2d6 instead of having the per level.
It does ask me to put that in there,
Oh yeah,
but
okay.
it doesn't show when I click on it.
Okay, so get rid of the plus 1d6 per level. Turn that back into a 0, and then just change the spell damage to 2d6.
Here's a
You'll just have
question,
to-
sir. If I was able to make a working version of the spell, would you be able to drag it from my sheet to hers?
Nope, sorry.
Wah, wah,
wish
wah,
that would be real
Can't
cool.
possibly be done. No way.
Yeah, it's impossible.
Okay.
It does
Also-
ask me for higher level, but then it doesn't show it. That's weird.
No, that's not right. Because it's trying to cast it as a higher spell level, which is incorrect. You're a higher level character, which means your cantrip should be doing more damage. There you go. That's correct. You might want to clean up the flavor text a little bit, but otherwise it's fine.
Okay. Cool.
Also, I noticed that you didn't increase your max HP, you increased your current HP. The max HP is the small number below the heart.
Oh, good point. Okay, thank you. Sorry for making you look.
No problem. So evening. It is nighttime. You've all had time to recuperate a little bit. Van and some of the others have hauled in most of the skeletal remains. Van has destroyed the rest of them.
Think of the gold, man.
It's better than it turning into a gold golem and trying to kill us tomorrow night, right?
No,
Right?
it collects all the gold into one place. For us. Like, did half the work for us.
He got most of it, though. So, while you were resting, somebody has brought out a long table into the town square area.
Nice.
And Mercutio has loaded it up for the skeleton crew that is here. For everybody else has been evacuated to Orgus or some of the other forts due to the incoming raid. The handful of you from the commission that are still here, plus the 7 captured kobolds, have sat at a table dressed with, for once out here, fresh meat and fresh bread and enough fruits and other things for everybody who needs and wants them.
Are the kobolds, what's the kobold reaction to seeing a spread?
So they were told to come sit, and they did. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm missing a kobold, actually. There's 7 of them.
I see 7.
Do you?
Oh, nope. Jabberlax was pretending to be a kobold.
Yeah. Same height. They were told to come sit.
So they went literal and they're not eating?
Well, no, they had all lumped together on one end of the table. a bit away from everybody else.
Right.
But Mercutio has placed a whole bird in front of them, which seems to be enough for all 7 of them total, honestly. And by the time they're into their things, the kobolds have eventually joined in as well. Naya, you think one of them might be crying? The bird is gone in about 3 minutes.
Crying?
Yeah.
I'll use my mage hand to pat that one on the back and say, it's okay. It was
Yeah,
a pretty good chicken.
I think I would check with each of the kobolds, see how they're doing, see if I can cheer them up.
Yeah, you know,
When you
near
pat
them
her,
too.
she coughs and chokes and says, "It's good."
Alvis might be the best person to actually get them to talk. I don't know that we have anyone else that will talk.
Oh, no, we don't eat this every day, only when somebody's going to die.
She says he was going to die.
Whomever's food was poisoned. See, it's like a random roulette.
You.
Oh my god, you're not really gonna do that, are you?
A big smile goes across his face.
Don't be a brat.
Romizawa slaps the table and he says, "You can't. We took them in. You can't be doing that to them. They're gonna believe you."
I
Okay.
mean, that's the kind of shit the dragons would do.
Okay, no, I'm sorry. No, we only have this after special events.
It's the opposite. It's because we didn't die that we're celebrating. So please enjoy yourselves. Drink up.
Exactly. After a big fight.
Today was actually a big battle, and we survived, and that's why we're feasting, celebrating being alive.
The kobold you recognize as the largest one, the one who had previously volunteered himself to be eaten. He and whose name you now know is Kimek.
Okay.
He says, "We saw you fight. We were watching from the wall. Me,
Should have been hiding. The big fireballs.
We didn't want you to get hit with the fireballs.
We were hidden. We're good at hiding.
Good.
But
Good.
we watched." You nearly killed Lord Daymire.
Yes, we sure got close. Alvis is going to say that sheepishly.
We'll get him next time.
Yep. Now we know how they play. Ambergreen, strike up a tune, please.
Toodly choo! Toodly toodly
He
choo!
says, I think you might be right.
I'll keep playing.
I mean, it's a party, right?
Right? Here's the song that I wrote based on how we defeated the myriad skeletons and dragon princes.
That was a quick song.
There we go.
Well, we made him run away at least.
Defeated.
Sharp says from his corner. And let's all remember that boy, we couldn't have done that if their brother didn't rat them out, huh? So let's thank Hein Helia for traitors.
Yeah.
Toodly
Yeah.
toot.
I'll raise my glass to that, but I'll say to Lord Bashta, our friend, perhaps.
Perhaps.
Maybe.
Perhaps.
Maybe.
Angela says, "You can't say that. That's you can't say that kind of blasphemy. That's
Well,
not cool. You should."
we fought beside him once and had a interesting time, and then the next time we met him, it was to have a drink and chat, and then he went off to do his own thing. It's hard for me to say that he's really trying to be an enemy. You know, I think he kind of wants out of this life. He seems very bored of having to watch over land that's been scraped over for 1,000 years.
I just mean you can't ask the Golden Mother for traitors. That's not the right thing to do.
Oh.
I agree.
Well, is it treason?
Wait, who's the Golden Mother?
Is it treason for someone to
Hein Helia.
not be honest with themselves?
No,
As if
it's not.
If it's a matter of him being honest with himself and realizing he doesn't want to fight us, I don't know if it's necessarily a matter of treason so much as, you know, the whatever, be it selfishness or some other reason, choosing rather than being an adversary, and I'm sure a very potent adversary, to kind of help us out, kind of
I don't necessarily see Vashta's action as treasonous. He did the passive thing, which was go away. Be not present for those activities and come back and be able to say, what happened? What? Tell me. Fill me in. Oh, for God's sake, they did what? And he can legit say, I wasn't there. I don't know, so fill me in.
Yep. That wasn't even.
It is a passive kind of thing where it covers his butt. It also allows him some possibility of being an ally in the future, but I wouldn't call him an ally right now.
Sharp says, like I said.
I wouldn't call him a treason.
No,
I wouldn't call him a traitor either.
I would legit agree with you, except he legit gave away military tactics. He gave away his enemies, like we are at war with his faction, military tactics. Just like told us what they were about to do.
Are we at war officially? I mean, they've attacked us.
Well, it's official now, I guess. Based on that, Alvis, you're probably.
No state to
I think Alvis has a point.
More of
he did tell us
I didn't hear it.
where they were and what they planned to do.
The sensei, I was fascinated.
She was saying in response to Montlarin that there's no war or a state to assign that to, so it's more of a military, excursion than a
skirmish. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, they're like bandits.
Right.
That does still basically make him a traitor on paper, at least.
Well, Alvis is correct. He did tell us what his family was planning and where.
I'd also say
and when we went to go check that out, we found it to be marginally, at least, true. So in that sense, he was a traitor for telling us that.
Yeah, I would also think, or like, I'm not the religious type, Angela, but Does your goddess really like the praisal of those who claim kinship with the defilers, dragons?
Well, the Golden Mother will not turn away a dragon, no matter what color. But if you're looking for somebody to ask for more nefarious heel turns, maybe you should go ask Shothos or somebody like that.
Exactly. Dragons. Somebody said there would be ale. Van, did you bring up the ale?
It's all plenty available for you.
Lucent, are you availing yourself of these libations?
A little bit.
Good.
You all did extremely well. We, as always, could not have done this without you. And I mean the fact that you cut off the head of their what now seems to have been a pincer may have very well saved us all.
Oh, it's far from over yet. That was just the beginning.
That's right. Van says, well, they didn't get a single one of us, and we got 150 of them.
They were undead.
Yes, but it's still bodies, isn't it? They still hit you, didn't they?
Yeah, it was quite a force on the field, and I think it's something that we put enough pressure on the princes that they had to bail. So that's something.
Did you guys see what he did, like up close? Elvis.
No, what did he do?
Put some bread and some saucy rice and some chicken, and eats dramatically. He called upon a rift very similar to the Redshift outside and used it as a blade, like a magic weapon. And I had to run from it.
Was that what that was?
Jarlax says, I saw it. I saw it, I didn't like it. Glad we got out of there.
I'm glad Keen was as fast as Keen was.
He said, Redshift obey me when he did it. The Redshift wasn't even happening when he did it.
No, it wasn't.
It hadn't started yet.
Exactly. That's why I asked.
It's a very powerful spell.
If it seemed like the Redshift originated from Vrabast or from the tower, now that we're closer, and obviously it's the tower, but it makes me question, how is it that they know how to control it? By what means and method?
Right. That is a question.
Or if it's not even controlling it and simply mimicking it very effectively.
Or does the Redshift leave a residue of, like, are we still in the effects of the Redshift even when it's not active?
It's possible.
Kuro says, well, that Vashta guy you met, he said he's been here for a couple hundred years, right?
Something like that.
Yeah.
So, hey, Lauren, he bumps you with his arm. Haven't you already done a Redshift twice?
I mean, kind of. There's always been a trick to it, though. Like, I couldn't just ask the Redshift. Could I?
Angelus,
Why not?
well, you haven't had 200 years, I guess.
But the fact that he could do it while the redshift wasn't happening, like you were saying, Alvis, is it possible that the redshift is happening even now? It's just not happening on this plane or this
The
alternative. Like,
Brigadier says you used the Unicornus spear, and there was no redshift happening.
El
that's
Guapo.
a good point. Maybe the redshift doesn't work the way we think it does.
Van says, I think there's a lot of things out here that don't work exactly the way we think they do.
I'm going to agree with that.
How does that affect the psychology of a holder?
What, the redshift or not knowing something?
The redshift.
Thankfully, I haven't had the. I've resisted the impulse to throw myself into it just to see what will happen.
Surely you could you could have one of those dream dog things. No? Like
You think I want to dream about myself getting all shifted?
I mean, you said you had to resist the urge to go inside of the redshift, so surely
Yeah, continue resisting that urge. Don't think about anything else. You don't want to go in that. That's bad. That's nasty. You can
Agreed.
throw things
Yes,
into
that's
it.
the plan.
I'm assuming that like Nimbus is like hushing me right now. It's quiet.
Although at this point, maybe if I did, you all would finally be able to take me down.
Well, we're not trying to take you down.
Yeah, we don't want to do that.
Well, you'd have to if I got all shifted up.
Well,
Probably,
Don't
right?
do it.
Unless I guess unless I stayed
Yeah,
normal.
so don't go into the shift.
We don't
okay?
know if it affects beholders, actually.
We don't want to find out. We like you
Yeah, we
just the way you are.
Well, I mean, Van, I would assume or think, given some of the things I've studied about magic and seen in the world, that beholders cast with a high amount of character and pizzazz. So if commanding the redshift takes pizzazz and character, then perhaps clerics and paladins. He points over to Montlarin and beholders who literally dream themselves into existence. Maybe they're the best capable at plying away at the magic of the redshift.
Brigadier says yes. Maybe you could do that away from the dinner table, though.
I do not want this bird to come alive.
I don't want Van to change into anything he's not already.
No, I wouldn't suggest that. I'm just saying, like with the glass wall. Like, I'm wondering, there could be some experiments done when the redshift is not around outside the city limits. Forcing the redshift to do stuff with your force of character. I don't know how you guys do it.
Yeah, with will.
One of the
Well, it's different than concentration and like casting. Sorry.
one of the other kobolds, whose name you have learned as Guza, the one you'd say out of the 7 of them who probably has the most well-polished, shiny horns. He says, he interjects, Lord Daymire has, I know he has been studying the Redshift for an age. Since before any of us hatched, in fact, I've had the honor to see him at work once or twice, and the other lords, forgive me for saying, do not compare, because Lord Daymire can snap his fingers and make things happen just by wanting it.
There was a little
To be fair,
to it, but yes, that is.
I have seen him carve spell circles that would take hours of preparation and gemstones that would take us months to collect from ruins like this in a second.
Has he always been able to do this?
As long as I remember.
but he can't put one down permanently. He can only use it to escape.
Lord Daimler
Well, he made
can
those
do,
circles on the hill, right?
He can do many things, and I do not know all of them.
Well, whatever he's going to do, he's going to need to do it with another full force, because anything short of that, and we will likely destroy him.
I believe has perhaps power greater even than his father. The kobold Guza looks back and forth as though he expects something bad to happen after he says that.
Yeah, I can't hardly believe he's saying that out loud.
Well, I could understand
he almost
that.
looks stunned at himself, but
No. If he's taken the time and has the skill and knowledge to be able to learn the Redshift above and beyond what the father has been able to understand, then yeah, I could see how he could ascend above him in power. Sure. That doesn't mean we aren't going to kill him the next time we see him, unless he brings another full force.
Just have to figure out how.
I will raid his closet and wear his clothing like I did with his younger brother.
Oh,
Do you recognize these clothes?
And Morio will roll over in his grave.
He's encased in stone. He's not in a grave. He's in a vault
I honestly,
somewhere.
I want that statue. Didn't I request that statue get put somewhere? Or did something happen to it before I could?
Well, we're still keeping it in case we want to revive and question him.
That's what it was.
The smallest kobold, the one named Aten, she when you you like flash the belt and everything.
Oh yeah, I'm not in my armor right now. This is like I'm supposed to be relaxed.
She says, I have seen that. That is Lord. That was Lord Morio's. He has not stopped raging about it.
oh shit!
Who has not stopped raging about it?
Morio!
Oh yeah.
That's a good trick.
When did Morio last rage about it?
Well, I I think I remember him killing one of the imps. Uh, uh, perhaps she looks at her fingers. 10 more maybe nights ago.
Wait, what?
That's interesting.
Hmm.
And a really good trick.
Was Morio ever dead?
She covers her mouth, her snout.
Her snout.
Because we thought we killed him, but
You just go and say that.
No, don't just say killed him. No, this is even more serious than
Defeated. Come on, man. Don't let us out to be who we are.
No, stop that. No, we incapacitated him, and we know exactly where he is. And they're saying that just 10 nights ago. You what? Tell me, there's a small dragon noble out there who has clothing of such finery that I could wear so easily that has not been pilfered from him. And
He's been very angry since Father punished him.
what was the punishment?
As I understand, he's not to leave the volcano.
Hmm.
No.
Is the volcano like a prison or a dungeon or just like a fort no one wants to be at?
Kimmick says she's talking about our home where we and we live under the lords there. As well as under the king.
So how did you get to Vraybas to attack from there?
That's a good trick.
Right.
Did you all get teleported to Vraybas to march down from there?
I don't know what Vraybast is.
It's the city that you marched from where we intercepted you.
Wait. You mean the volcano? We marched from the volcano. We marched from our home.
The volcano's to the north?
Kimmick looks at the
We need to go north.
moon. Says,
"Yeah." I mean, I was going to go north anyway, but now we need to go north.
There was a volcano that emerged to the south a year or two ago, but I guess it's not that. No.
I'm going to point at the moon, noticing their glance, and say, north?
He was getting his bearings on like cardinal directions.
All right, good.
So you saw Morio 10 nights ago?
A 10 whose eyes are wide peeps. Yes?
Oh. Were Zoramos and Nasharala similarly punished?
I believe so, because they, especially Lady Nasharala, has been particularly upset for some time.
Yeah, that That makes sense. Well, okay. So anybody who we defeat gets grounded then, and they're just forced to stay home. I wonder.
And we haven't killed any dragons, no matter what we thought.
I wonder if Damer and Arcturus are also going to be grounded similarly then.
But we have Morio, but
We don't have anything, Elvis, if we saw him 10 days ago.
what do you mean? You're just so willing to accept that insanity. We have his statue.
Well-
Says, we had him in Fort Maricus, but Van sent him off to the Empire on a ship years ago.
And we have no idea what happened to it.
And
So until we find out what happened to the statue of Morio, everything we know is just had the rug pulled out. And there's not a single dragon that we've actually killed.
Van says, Van
Are
says,
you hearing this? There's a mole.
Van says, wait a second. Listen. I thought you told me that Dex loaded that onto the ship and sent it out. She says, no, this was, 2 or 3 years ago now, but I'm pretty sure you told me it had been shipped. You told me it had been shipped. She says, well, it was gone when I checked. I remember doing that.
Yeah, there's a lot of at best, that's what Montlaren's saying. At best, we're talking about somebody stole the statues and resurrected it without our knowing.
Right. That's literally best case.
At worst, we're dealing with some kind of weird magic that we don't know anything about and don't even know where to begin to understand it.
No, there's a mole. It's a fucking mole. He puts down the food and looks around.
Well, if we have a spot in the camp, then okay, we can work with that. But it's like that is actually the best and most logical scenario. The worst is something we don't even understand.
Sharp slaps his head and he says, oh my, the elf can teleport.
Well, I don't know that he can teleport to anywhere so much as from anywhere. So he
What
would
if
have
he was
still
scrying on our warehouse?
he
Right.
still would have needed to actually get there on foot by some means. Now,
Really?
this makes me wonder, though. Remember that necromancer guy or whatever that we were chasing who,
Ben says, oh, yes, I killed that. There was a bad ghosty thing hanging out in Fragan,
oh, okay.
the Upside Down City.
Never mind, then.
And you're sure you killed him? No offense.
Oh,
But
absolutely. I
we're now
disintegrated him
dealing with a
and
whole
all
lot of I thought I knew what happened and
Disintegrate.
yeah.
Alvastaver sits down and looks over to Sharp and nods and says, no, this is so say perhaps, there was a spell or contingency to scry on a singular person. It makes sense, they might teleport to Morio and then have the ability to whisk them away without our knowing about it.
If he's able to do that and teleport somewhere without a teleportation circle, that's pretty amazing.
Sharp says, I saw him do that. We all saw him do that. We were trying to kill him. And he disappeared like that.
Oh, well, no, our friend here explained that he's able to make the circle and cast the spell pretty much instantaneously. that doesn't mean that he can go to an address destination that has no address.
Kuro says, I didn't see no circle down there. He didn't draw anything. He just looked at his brother and then they were gone.
They fucking left. It was like a misty step, but they were they weren't near.
Yeah.
If he could make himself invisible, he could have easily snuck in during the night, then grabbed and teleported away.
The Brigadier says it's not like we leave our warehouses heavily guarded. We've never needed to.
Well, I guess apparently we do.
Man, are you sure you never put that on a boat yourself? I figure you'd be the one to do that since it's so heavy.
Did you get a record back from the Empire that they ever received the statue?
From what I know about the Empire, they don't even keep records like that. That's why guilds are established.
Well, we have records of the valuables, but not the non-valuables, and usually not corpses. Or not corpses of monsters, anyway.
See, this is exactly why I want to get into the military complex. The entire thing could use an entire reworking.
Jabalak says, okay, so we already killed him once. We could do it again.
Yeah.
Very practical, Jack.
Turn to the kobold and say thank you for the information. We did not know this, which is why we're talking about it so much.
It's a shock to the ego, at least.
I think it's a shock to all of us. I mean, we were counting that we'd killed, not just defeated, but killed 3 dragons. And now we find out that we only killed any.
We only killed one.
No, we didn't. We didn't kill anybody.
Well, we did.
10 days ago.
We did kill him. He's just alive again. We didn't actually kill Zoramos and Nashara. They both ran away. Didn't even get the chance. I've been waiting to see Zoramos and Nashara. Honestly, I wanted to openly offer either one of them a one-on-one duel.
I feel like kill precludes alive again.
Yeah, which is breaking the rules of things we know.
Right.
Angela says, well, Kuromizawa's been dead before for, a minute.
So wait, please, tell me, how angry was he that he doesn't have his finery?
Nice. Just stoke that. Just stoke it.
Well, I mean, now that I know that he's not dead,
I did piss in his bed, I guess.
I did take a giant shit under his pillow.
That's all I'm saying.
She says, well, one of the imps was bringing him dinner, and I think they said something about that they tried to compliment his clothes to improve his mood, and then Lord Morio threw a spear of stone, which pierced the imp and caused it to explode.
You said Lord Morio? I'm pretty sure that's Turd Morio. You're mispronouncing it.
What was this imp's name?
You can't say that.
What was this imp's name? Ignore the bard. He's a jester.
I'm sorry, I took a blow to the head recently.
So honestly, at this point, I could probably take down Morio in a single spell.
What did you ask?
What was the name of this dear imp? If you don't mind, did you know?
I didn't know.
Oh,
I don't.
I praise this nameless imp, and down a flagon of ale.
Um, Guza speaks up and he says, Lady Nasharala hasn't been much better in all this time. Most of us try to just stay out of her way at this point.
It seems kind of fiery.
So a zero tolerance policy. They have no attempt or right to claim their lands again. They have been lost.
Well, he says, it's fairly simple for a group of us to, and he gestures at himself, tapping his chest, and kind of it kind of like runs his claw on the wood of the table, in a way that sort of resembles letters, to help the lords transport to their lairs. But when the circles were destroyed, the imps who were under Lord Morio and the salamanders who were under Lady Nasharala couldn't do that anymore.
Cutting them off.
Even if the king wanted them to go there again, they would have to go on foot, which is almost impossible so far away.
So they just bide their time and gather their strength in their stronghold. I understand.
When you're almost immortal, time is kind of meaningless. Patience is something that develops pretty naturally.
Dragons. Well then.
That is good to know, actually, so that we don't have that shock on a battlefield.
Right.
It's disappointing, but good to know.
Angela says to Guza, was it your job to help them teleport around to their lairs? And he says, the other three who would help with that fell in battle, but with them, Lord Arturus would command us to take him to his lair and then take him back home.
Where is Arturius's lair, if you don't mind me asking?
In the snow.
Up north?
I do not know. I have never walked there.
Well, it's nearby enough to the desert for him to try to launch an attack for us.
No, you're wrong. We came back from his lair in the snow to our home, and then we prepared the cauldrons, and then we marched from there to bombard your city.
Good to know. Good to know.
He did not order the conjurers to teleport anywhere till we were done, at which point we would teleport back home, like usual.
Do you know how it was that he and Damar were able to teleport out without a teleportation circle?
Also, home like usual means these guys get used all the time.
Lord Demare is extremely powerful. He commands the world around him like a god.
Daymare. Why does that name sound familiar?
So are you saying that Daymare can instantly teleport without the use of something like a teleportation circle?
Well, I mean,
That would explain it, but I don't know that for sure.
Similar things. Do I have any access to that idea? Because I all of my teleport, blink, etc. is all domain. You know what I mean?
I've seen him do that. And Sharp says, there are some powerful spells. Well, I should say, the need to chalk out a circle is more of a layman's way of doing things than if you're a true
Right.
master.
Yeah, you're saying it's a tool. You're saying you chalk the circle out because it helps.
Right. I think our professor might have the skills needed to do it without a circle, although I don't believe he has that spell in his book. But I've heard of wizards similar to Dex's Caliber able to
The Elder Brothers dropped out without a circle because they could do the spell without the physical.
hop back and forth across the continent as they please.
Yeah, they can just do it without the physical component. So how to confound that? I'm not sure.
The brigadier says, "Well, if they're using that kind of magic, can they just go anywhere?" And
That's what I'm trying to find
No,
out.
it seems like there's got to be a circle somewhere, but they don't need one to start. Like they can go from where they are to another circle without casting a circle.
Sharp says, "Yes, my understanding of the magic is that it's much easier and safer to land upon a circle than an arbitrary location."
Might teleport with your hands inside of a wall.
Right, and then you can't cast spells anymore.
Yeah, that's tame. Teleport with yourself inside of a wall.
Then you get nice little cultural stories about how people hear screams from inside a wall.
Or never, just that person went away and never came back. Screams in a wall is promising. It's more like You missed the laugh.
Yeah, I think he said that, Mount Lauren. You know, he doesn't need a teleport circle to be able to do that.
Right, just like my Misty Step.
Mine too, yeah.
All it really takes beyond the manipulating the magic is the understanding of where it is you're going to be.
Right, and making a decision. So let's go forward that Daymare used something like a Misty Step. And he poofed, carrying his, well, actually, was it Daymare? We don't know if it was Arcturus or Daymare. Arcturus was the one picking up Daymare, as I recall. And then they both poofed.
No, you have it wrong.
Do I?
Lord Arcturus has wings. Lord Daymare is the one with mastery of
right
spells.
But when in the fight, when they disappeared, as I recall, it was Arcturus that went and got Daymare, and then they poofed.
No, you have it reversed.
Okay, so if Daymare just did a Misty Step, and maybe his Misty Step is 50 feet instead of 30 feet, what's relevant is we didn't see him. So maybe what he did was some version of Misty Step, went out of sight, and from there was able to sneak off. And we couldn't see him, so we moved on. That might be a reasonable explanation, but
It's possible. But I mean, if our fine friends here are saying that Daymare can legitimately teleport wherever he wants, I'm one to believe them. I can kind of see how that might work.
yeah.
Yeah, he might have that power. I agree.
If he could manipulate the redshift, then he could use the redshift to do that.
Interesting. I hadn't considered.
Attend says they are surely home by now. I hope the king is not too angry.
The brothers, the princes had already determined that their father would be angry. But at least they arrive home alive.
What's the king like?
She looks at you and she says, if His Majesty finds out that you hurt his children, he will surely come to eat you.
Well, we've hurt several of his children.
Right, I was going to say, I mean, at this point,
All of them, right? Except for
all of them?
I guess,
Well, we've hurt 3 for sure, and now 2 more.
I'm pretty sure that I've corrupted bits of his body into magic for myself.
we're not opposed to the great dragon and his children for any reason other than they're fucking with where we live. Like,
Well, actually, they're dragons.
I don't have a problem with dragons.
I don't
are
have
cool.
a problem with dragons either. I'm a dragonborn.
Yeah, I point at Naya. Clearly, we don't have a problem with dragonborn.
Dragonborn is more an aesthetic and less of a blood.
Nah, there are dragons
And Naya's
in the world
going to
that are
stare
not a
you
problem.
down, buddy.
What?
Right,
You're
no.
not a dragon?
She's a dragonborn, so figure it
Fella
out.
says, I
Yeah.
breathe fire, but don't go comparing me to a red, okay? I'm not.
That's all I'm saying.
See?
And so
Good
Naya
fella.
turns around and high fives Kuro.
I grew up in California, but don't go comparing me to the South. We say Coke the same way. That doesn't make us the same.
Dragon and Dragonborn is not like dragon. It's more of an aesthetic callback to. You're not related to dragons.
I mean, how far back you go, maybe.
Ah.
I want to.
Angela says, I've heard some historians talk, but they argue about that a lot.
And I mean, these Dragonborns are clearly so far gone from the dragon-like genotype and breed that they have none of the, characteristics.
I don't
I'm
know,
just saying, it's not the genetics.
Breathes fire.
Right. It's not the fucking genetics.
not
It's the way they believe that they come on, it's Morio. Morio thought he was so much better than everybody. We came in there and spanked his baby ass, right? It's not their blood, it's their upbringing.
That's a fair cop. Although I don't mean to point out a stereotype, but I mean red dragons are kind of known ...
I mean, fair enough. But isn't the last guy we had reasonable interactions with on that side red in blood? Like, isn't he half part red?
I'm not having this conversation.
Certainly not live on camera.
My brother's a half elf, man. This is.
The brigadier says you don't have to sugarcoat the fact that red dragons are well-known villains. Everybody knows that.
I know. Are we actually gonna hash this out right now?
Is that not true? Where you come from, Lauren?
Oh no,
is that different?
And
no. Can confirm. Red dragons are problematic.
Where I come from, there aren't dragons, so these are all new to me. Like, I understand.
Where I come from, there are no dragons either. There are just dragonborn.
Right. Well, I mean, I met you, Naya, and you are obviously a dragon person.
It's good that there are no dragons there.
Wow, that's some bigotry there, elf.
Yeah,
they're the right
kind of seems like it.
Maybe not, but
wow, did you just say the right kind of? I don't know about any of my friends now. Wow.
Dragon,
I'm just saying that maybe there are some good dragons out there, but
dragons and
but
giants.
these ones, right?
Well, but see, I don't have that. I don't have that inherent bias. So I look at Vashta, have always looked at Vashta as potential ally.
When we get to the tower.
I get it that maybe you have a bias against dragons and therefore against Vashta, but I don't, because there were no dragons where I come from. There were only dragons.
They were a mythical fucking being,
orders? Do you know what some clerical orders, good in alignment clerical orders call dragons? Particularly like red and the chromatic ones, right?
Inspiration.
They call them defilers.
Oh shit, dude! Nobody knows about that mythology here.
Okay, sure. I'm getting to the point that there's a section of belief out there, a large section that believes that most of the chromatic, sphere are defilers of nature.
Sure enough, but Aethys is supposed to be so far away from anyone that cares. Like, I don't even know if
that's meta talk.
It totally is. Fair enough.
I don't know if Amber Green knows about that.
It's a story I heard somewhere.
Angela takes a sip. She says, "It's you're not wrong."
Dragons, spit, and also giants. There's a reason why I took the time to learn how to speak giant, so that once we get to any
right, but when Irenaeus is around, you guys are like best buddies. So don't give me that shit.
Nice.
I'm calling it.
Sharp says Goliaths are not related to giants. They're completely different species.
That's just ignorance.
Exactly.
Just ignorance.
And half giants, they're okay. It's honestly, it's the ancient giants. Like when I say giants, like hill giants have it bad, right? Because supposedly, if you go into the history, they're not supposed to be that dumb or something. And then freaking storm giants are bad for the same reasons that Amber Green was talking about. That dragons are bad, except like they. Whoa!
I did not say dragons are bad. I said I have no experience with dragons.
No. The reason why the dragons that we have been encountering are bad. Rather, you are absolutely right. I meant the behaviors of character inherent in giants and dragons are similar.
Sharp says, anyway, Miss Cockadedna is as related to giants as you Miss Quillix are to a lizard folk. So, just to clear that up.
Exactly.
Lauren, the things that I do that appear to be transubstantiation or teleport, what they call teleportation, and that sort of thing. Like, no, these are manipulations of the weave of music. Like, I find the reverberations and I go, the next beat is here, and then I am there. Do you see? It's not quite teleportation as you might think of it, but it is absolutely innate.
Indeed. I actually think that might be the common factor.
I agree.
Definitely handy, that. Just being able to teleport.
Well, yeah. Well, it's not just that. There's a number of things that I can do based just on my domain, and I feel like what Montlarin was suggesting, and what I would corroborate, is that this could be domain powers, which wouldn't register in the same way, like
my Misty Step, exactly.
like a Misty Step that you just have, right? It's not a spell you cast; it's a thing you do.
In terms of the practical effect, it's 30 feet away. So if you suddenly don't see them, they're invisible, or they are, like remember, like a Blage's mage's blink.
Well, so that's what I'm saying.
So
it's
if you did
for me,
like a blink, then you just move to another spot. If you're not looking in that direction, you don't see it.
it just happens.
If you're doing like one of Ambergreen's domain things that he can do that's so cool, then he goes invisible. And he's like not there.
This is what I'm suggesting is right. Is that these, and maybe what Montlarin was suggesting, and I'm just supporting it, is that these are domain for him. For me, the things that I do with regard to like misinformation about where I actually am or what I look like are domain spells. They're spells, but they're just innate. I don't prepare them. I just have them.
Yeah, same. So what I'm looking at though is before, when I was kind of freaked out about the whole how can a dragon we thought was dead be alive kind of thing, I wondered if there was some kind of a domain spell for dragons.
There's an old school spell, and mind you, I'm going to step aside, and now I'm at tabletop mode. In 2E, there's a thing called contingency, and you used to be able to bind any number of spells to contingency. And what contingency was is if these things are correct, if these situations are, validate to true, this spell casts. And people used to build all sorts of crap into that for their bad guys. Get me down to X hit points, take care of these things that were protecting me, whatever contingency spell activates. So it's not outside of the realm of possibility that he just had, if I'm in a critically bad situation, teleport happens and I go to a safer spot.
That's what I'm thinking. I mean, initially I was kind of freaked out, like that it was something somebody did with the statue. But maybe it's more like, and I'm just totally spitballing here, but maybe it's more like Misty Step, where you leave behind a copy.
And the copy dies?
And the copy dies, but you have, in the meantime, while that acts basically as a distraction for your enemy, you teleport the fuck out of there.
Yeah, you need to read the Infinity Concerto by Greg Bear. Rip. Awesome author. Rip.
Nice, though.
Yeah,
but
you need to read Infinity Concerto, because it's exactly what you're talking about.
That would explain how all three of those that we thought were actually, like, defeated, and Morio we thought was killed and dead, and we even sent his statue off.
I know, we
could be back alive
over his fucking home.
They talked to him 10 days ago. It's like, holy shit. But
what a fucking painful circumstance to come back to your summer home and find that some punks fucking had a bonfire, took a shit in your fucking sink, just generally partied in your house.
Well, and then there's Dad, who does not take
right. That was Dad's house. It wasn't his. It wasn't Morio's house. It was Dad's summer house.
And it was Dad's house. Yeah, and
that's fucking hilarious.
But I mean, it makes me a bit less panicked, honestly, to think about it in those terms. You know, rather than somebody screwed with the statue, which I think we should chase down and find out. Time, maybe it is some kind of a domain spell that dragons have where they can do this misdirect thing. And maybe it's even called something like misdirect, where they throw a copy of themselves out and teleport away. And it's only used in dire straits. Maybe you have to be at 10% health or 15% health or less in order to use it. But that would explain why they could all do it.
Jarlax says, well, aside from all the magic babble, and they reach into their pouch and they sprinkle some spice into their drink and sip and say, those things were real bones, right? Where do you think they all came from? Like, whose bones?
Yeah, it's an interesting question considering they were amalgam bones. There are bones of lots of different, like, each unit had bones from different people in it.
I actually have an academic sort of answer
Theory?
to that. Yeah, we in all of our looting, in my attempts at amateur archaeology, have never found the remains of anyone. Very little.
I was thinking similarly.
That's true. Everywhere we've been where there's been a something, there's been no bones.
I assume that they, and this was a multicultural empire.
What a trip! I hadn't considered that till now. I'm certain we've seen bones somewhere.
Kuro says,
over the years, no bones at all. But I do feel like you're right that the cities and shit were just wiped clean.
Kuro says there were definitely some freaky shifted skeletons down in that pit under Orvis.
Yeah, and there was that too.
Yeah.
I think they were there before the Redshift.
They were like localized.
Perhaps.
No, didn't that
tombs is what I was saying. The bones were older.
Even the elf came back bones.
The spot where Salmus and the cultists were, all those tore up skeletons we saw.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like I said, all the cultists got messed up.
Wasn't that, just the effect of recent, red shifting though on people?
No, I figured that must have been what killed them.
Yeah, I think
interesting though, Mont. Yeah, we don't find bodies. We generally don't find bodies.
But in the cities that we've reclaimed, that aside,
right? But most of the time, when we're reclaiming a city, it's been 1,000 years. I wouldn't expect to find a body.
And then the one body,
you'd find bones. I mean, look at fucking Vesuvius, right? Like, come on.
Well, that was different. Like
not necessarily after 1,000 years of baking in the sun and the dust. They could have actually just turned to dust and been blown away.
I guess so.
Well, but learn manifested differently.
Bones of you folk, you humanoids, they'll disintegrate in a couple centuries. Unless you take special care of them.
Well, yeah, we saw Montlaren's, predecessor.
That was a different circumstance.
He was a spirit. But then we also saw that there's a monster down south that was like, I don't know if it was bones or steel. It was like a spider.
Oh no, that was a mechanistic thing, right?
I guess you're right. Yeah, we don't find bones very often. So, I mean, maybe, but they were amalgam. The thing that I think stands out is that they were made of multiples, is that they were pieces, It wasn't just one creature. Each skeleton, as you guys figured out, was made of things that normally don't go together.
Yeah, but if they had a massive, pile of bones to work with, say an entire civilization's worth.
Right.
you probably wouldn't keep individual skeletons assembled, right? It would just take up too much space. So you would,
Sure, but at that point, why would you make them bipedal at all? Wouldn't you make just monstrosities?
Well, that depends on how the magic you're making works. Yeah, and there was that dragon I killed.
I guess you're right.
Are you sure you killed it?
Millipedes of bone.
Make no bones about it. It's dead.
Bone.
Not only dead, but what could have been harvested from it has been, and then Van disintegrated the rest.
Yep.
Make no bones about it was basically
Got every inch. I know. I was right at it.
I'm actually going to try to make use of some of that gilding. I have maybe an idea of another trinket that could be added to Keen.
Well, thank you for the information. Nice talking to the kobolds. That was very useful. Obviously sparked a lot of conversation and a lot of food for thought. Please enjoy your feasting. We're all very glad to be alive today.
She says, I didn't mean to give information. I'm sorry.
You'll be fine.
Oh, don't.
Get them a drink.
Exactly.
They should be
You'll
sorry.
fine.
Drink up. That's your punishment.
Yeah, looking at all of them, I'll say, we're all friends here now, right?
Do I have to drink it? It tastes terrible.
Oh no! If you don't want to drink it, absolutely not. You don't have to drink it.
Oh.
I'll drink it though. Are you gonna drink it?
Hey, Soriano, what's a good drink we have around here?
You can have it.
He grabs it and then drinks the ale.
Soriano was one of the evacuees.
Oh, never mind.
My apologies.
There's Yuri and Renato.
Yep. Hello, I'm here.
Little Yuri and Renato.
Working the ballistas.
Absolutely, exactly.
Yeah, they helped you in the Hydra fight.
They did.
They've mostly, like I said, you pretty much have a skeleton crew here. It's you all and a few of the people who man the walls and stuff, and as many people as you need to, survive more or less. In the past week or two, everybody else has been mostly evacuated back to Orvis, just to stand by until things calm down over here. Now, around this time, later into the evening, is when the obelisk blinks to life, and an elf
Obelisk
appears in the window, and she says, "Hello, everybody in there? Hi."
Hey.
Hello?
Lulu says, we saw things get really explosive down there from way up here. Is everybody okay?"
Yeah, I think so.
We are now.
Yeah, got it under control.
I've been working on the song about it. It's like never mind.
It's a
I'll
good
show you
thing-
later.
It's a good thing we evacuated folks, though.
Ernest, you owe me 5 gold.
Lol.
She says, well, good.
Ernest, you owe me 5 gold.
So they actually did attack. It really happened. Like you
It
went
really
to-
happened, and Van had to put out fires.
We killed 152 people.
I almost died.
Skeletons. And a dragon.
Yep.
I killed a lot of people, but I also skeletons, dragons. But I almost died.
Sorry, I wasn't there to help. I had to. Well, we've been taking care of the children, and I mean,
How are the kids?
It's cool. I'm gonna write a song about it.
They're a little bored up here, but we're okay.
Cool.
We brought a couple decks of cards, and I've been teaching them a game, and they already beat me once.
They're quick studies.
Oh,
They wanted
teach
me.
them that
They
one
wanted me
with
to
the
check
cards.
to make sure everything's okay. So, I told them they shouldn't grow too many plants up here because we don't know what that's going to do to the house.
Hey, you know that game with the 2 decks and the dice from back home? Teach them that. That one's fun. That one's a lot of fun. I think they'll really enjoy it.
Is it not too complicated for them?
It well, keep it easy on them at first. Maybe pull out just the bottom 8 cards so you don't have all the gnarly stuff that happens later.
Yeah. Okay. Is it?
Let them earn 9-10 in the faces.
Anyway, besides all that, I wanted to add, is it safe to come home? Should we get ready to... I mean, after the next Redshift, obviously, we can camp out here for a few more days. We'll be fine. But once that clears up, should we get back to you guys?
The answer is Yom.
What?
I don't think we've made a tactical decision on that just yet, to be perfectly honest. We don't know if they're ready to press the attack again with different forces, or if Big Daddy is going to pay us a visit with his own regiment of forces. We've got a little bit of consideration to do before we can really say yay or nay on that.
Fortunately, with the Redshift happening now, or almost now, we have a bit of a breather. We're going to take advantage of that.
We got to get an answer to them fairly soon, though. They got to make preparations for travel if they do come back.
Well, as soon as the Redshift ends, we could see ourselves being attacked again. So we have to plan for that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll be here, so you just let me know what we need to do. We'll stand by, and if things get bad, we still have the scroll to get on out of here. So we'll do that.
Hang in there. Try to keep the kids entertained.
Okay. Call us if you need anything. Bye.
Yeah, they're going to love that game. Ever teach any of you folks that one? I don't know if we've ever played it.
I don't think so.
Yeah, it's great. One deck is the actions and activity going on, and the other deck is the region or sort of place where it occurs in. Once you've played it enough, you kind of have a good memorization of what all the events are. She and I have played it a few times, so I know she's got it down. But otherwise, I can, just for legality's sake and for everybody to be able to review the rules, I can write up what all the cards represent so people can kind of understand the game and the odds and, what's at stake and what you earn through, the process of gameplay and stuff. It's a really cool one. It's, like your adventure is going on a journey.
Which game
Yeah,
are
sounds
we
fun.
talking about?
Oh, there's the most likely the most popular and like legendary and historic and has tournaments game across the Silver Coast where I come from. Not the entire continent, just the Silver Coast.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I've never heard of that game.
Yeah, it's a fun one. During this downtime here, I could probably write up the rules and get a game going or something.
I like storytelling games, especially ones from regional, what's the word I'm looking for? Communities. That's the word.
Yeah, you could call it that.
So the Brigadier says, I hate to talk about work when we're having so much fun, but what are we going to do about this?
Well,
We can't rule out the possibility that they'll attack us again as soon as the Redshift breaks.
Yep. Depends how pissed off Dad is.
My my suggestion is kind of the same as I had coming out of the last one. If we're ready to evacuate people, we should be ready to increase the militarized supply line and start getting like some serious heavy hitters and boots on the ground, delivering supplies and coming to bolster our forces here.
well, there is one option that maybe we're not considering because it's a little crazy. If there were no Red Dragon, how cohesive do you think they would be?
Oh, yeah. That would need a little preparation, though.
We know where he lives now.
It still needs a little preparation. I mean, like hunting a dragon.
I don't know how to kill a Red Dragon. I mean, unless it's younger than we think it is, but I don't think that's the case.
Preparation, exactly. That's what I said.
Yeah, I know. I'm agreeing with you, to be clear.
Okay. But I'm definitely down. I would like to add that to my titles. Worm Rider, Dragon Slayer. It would go really well for that the business I would like to open up later on in life.
If we had access to one of those legendary neck-seeking blades and someone with a real precise hand to land blows with it, yeah, maybe it could even be trivialized, but I don't really know what resources the Empire has and what they're even willing to reveal in this situation.
Well, I'm sure that there's also, stuff and artifacts here within the Redshift that
The Brigadier says, yeah, I mean, I'd love to have a legendary, infinitely sharp blade as well. But
I mean,
I just use
who
steel.
wouldn't? I could write songs about it.
What does
Brigadier,
it make any
Brigadier, I realized something in the last battle. It totally dawned on me. The next time we're fighting side by side, I can just polymorph you into your original self. That way, while you're fighting, you aren't getting wrecked by the crystals. You won't have the power of the arm, but you'll be able to fight on much longer.
Hmm.
Is that like ableist? I'm not sure if that is or not.
Shush you. If you knew what it felt like to have your insides be ground up by crystals, so I don't either, but it sounds horrible.
I agree. I'm just saying, is that ableist or not?
Well, I'm just wondering if it makes sense to
No. Here's the thing, though. I can probably make you like stronger than you normally are. I can tweak the features a little.
Is that ableist or not?
That's an interesting experiment.
Magical enhancement, my friend. Come on now.
No, the reason why that's an interesting
it's just
the reason why that's an interesting experiment is because the incident report and that I just put in for help to get me to right and ready, tip-top shape. It relies, or it's asking to rely on a magic item, but I don't exactly know if a magic item will relieve me of a redshift curse. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it would have to be a true polymorph.
I'm hoping that some kind of item of focusing will alleviate the itching a bit, at least while I'm doing my cartography and calligraphy.
You do have that that ointment that Soriana made for you as well, the numbing.
That's a
Compound.
temporary fix, and
Yeah.
Albus Taver would not like to rely on that, especially because it dims his or dulls his physical senses too.
If you don't mind the sweat and the smell and the color and really everything else, the texture, I understand there's a way that they can prepare like a live troll skin graft.
Grim.
It won't hurt anymore, and it'll kind
No,
of
but
heal
like
on
I'd
its own.
rather
It's kind
slather
of
an
neat.
ointment than have a troll skin. Ew.
I don't mind troll skin; they're fellow darklings.
Well,
All
that
right.
might be a little sensitive to sunlight. You'll have to make sure it stays covered, but that's when all this stuff is over. I'm sure I'm going to go back to my homeland. You're free to come with, so we can look into some sort of remedy.
That would be cool, especially if this acquisition does not follow through and is denied or is a total failure.
Indeed. Hopefully, the things you send are being read and considered with great intent and intentions, and not just used to warm the furnace.
I look over at at Sharp, and I shrug.
They just
Oh.
nod.
It's about like 50-50, right?
Sure. I believe in you.
I mean, my writing is very prolific. I mean, in comparison to some agents.
Well, Sharp, if it hasn't gone out, maybe you can review it and make sure it like uses all the loopholes and all the techniques and stuff that one might try to use to the extent that you understand it and kind of work
Oh, I'm
together.
happy to. I love reading my coworkers' letters before they go out.
I put my hand over my face, and I'm like, I mean, I haven't actually ever used any of the guild's benefits as an agent. For one, I haven't ever become injured before like this.
He says, well, as long as you've made sure to affirm quite strongly that this is interrupting your ability to produce the goods they expect, I'm sure they'll find it in their hearts to help you out.
Absolutely. I mean, my calligraphy has gone down the drain. I've become so lazy, and the chicken scratch that I have been producing is simply terrible.
Are you? Is Albus left-handed?
Elvis is ambidextrous by practice. Here and All Saints split the party for a double attack.
No. I was talking about armies.
Ah, yes. Okay.
But whatever it is, I think we really do need to get some more military forces in here.
quite, or at least like we need to tinker around with our gear.
Or if not military, then really, 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 really strong adventurers who are known for taking on the toughest stuff. And a lot of them.
I think that's us.
She says I've been sitting on a few letters to some particularly legendary adventurers I know. So yes, I'll make sure to send those out, and they'll be here within the week, I'm sure.
If you can put the word out to the Empire that any soldiers think themselves a dragon slayer, might find their fame and fortune out here.
Oh, that's a good way to sell it.
Oh yeah, Dragon Slayer. I could put that in the propaganda.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, Lauren.
I didn't really want to chime in on the conversation earlier because there's you folks are kind of interesting, but yeah, the legendary factor of dragons is the magnitude. And so it's, when you generally are dealing with metallics, you're generally expecting for maybe not necessarily a good time. They're still going to take your gold and they might mess with you, but like it's not going to be in a malign sort of way. Like they might still send you off with like a blessing or something. But a colored dragon, if they're leaving you to go on your way scot-free without any sort of deal or having to give anything up, they have some agenda. You don't know what part of it you're playing, but now you are. And, just even interacting with one, if it isn't in an adversarial way, you're kind of be left feeling real dirty. I don't have really a lot of experience, but the person who mentored me, yes, I will just say he did quite a bit. So yeah, putting in, do you fancy yourself a dragon slayer? Yeah, that'll get people's attention. That'll get some recruits for sure. Though I'm not looking for recruits. I'm looking for, seasoned veterans.
On the topic of dragon slaying, Lauren. It sounds like you have an insane plan. And your last few insane plans have worked very well, so I'd actually like to hear you out.
I don't know that I'm ready to call it a plan, but we're beginning to learn a lot about how things work. And yeah, I point to our new kobold friends in their old home. If we could get a small group of people capable of killing a dragon in there without being seen and kill that dragon, I feel like our problems begin to go away.
Yeah, I need to work on Keen a little bit more before I feel like we can go kill a dragon.
I'm not saying I know how to do it. That's why I'm not willing to call it a plan yet. But
she says that's in the zone.
It's something we can do with the resources we have if we can figure out the whole kill a dragon part, right?
No, Lauren, their home.
Yeah, it's like 3 days march from here.
I thought it was high. I thought it was longer than that. I mean,
maybe it's like 6, but still.
I thought it was like 6, which means we have to
march from here.
It's definitely a march.
Kimmick, lad, what protects your home from the Redshift when you are there? He sits up straight.
A portal to elsewhere? An obelisk? or something like it.
At your first one, he shakes his head and he says, "The king has a artifact."
Oh, now we're talking.
Right?
Have you seen the artifact?
Only once, when I was made to follow Lord Arturus into the king's chamber.
Did it
But-
look like a box that was inverted on itself?
No. If my memory is correct. And some of the salamanders and the foragers have talked about it before. There are great chains above the caldera which hold the artifact. But it did not appear as a cube to me. But they say that the thing those chains hold is what keeps the Redshift from killing us all.
Oh,
Okay, well, I can't say I'm surprised. Almost everybody else that we've run into here that abides in this zone has some fashion or form of a way of dispelling the Redshift, including us.
You know, this means then, if we're able to essentially destroy their obelisk, we win.
Right, we don't need to kill a dragon at all.
I am down for sabotage. I can
Take it
sneak in
down.
somewhere.
The brigadier says, "Take it down." They'd have no choice but to retreat. I mean, if I know a tyrant, I'm sure we'd feel the aftershocks of that. But
Oh, they'd march straight down on us double time. They would try to cram into water spaces, and of course we'd have to fight them.
Exactly.
I'd rather fight a dragon here than on his volcano.
Right.
Don't fight a dragon in its lair. Same rules as fighting a beholder. No offense.
Well, if that's the case, then
Why would I take offense to that? You're completely correct.
it's something that we would have to do once we've got our reinforcements here, so we could sustain a full-fledged attack. All of the children, all of their forces that they can muster, and Big Daddy himself and all of his forces.
Well, I don't know how much time or people we're going to have, but we have kept a lot of our able-bodied fighters spread out a bit across the zone. If we call them into one spot, we'd have to make sure that we lured that dragon to the right spot, though. Otherwise, we'd be caught unawares somewhere else undefended.
Right.
Hmm.
That's why it would require an entire supply line. Now, one way we can establish this supply line is if we use the teleportation circle that we do have nearby that would compromise that location. We'd have to definitely move by night to move anybody down. But during the time that it's not the Redshift, they would be able to, however many wizards are available at the Empire's disposal that can make teleportation circles, to be able to ferry through troops and resources.
Probably the most valuable thing up there, though, besides the teleportation circle, is that telescope. We can see a long way off who's coming and when. We could have lookouts stationed up there with an obelisk always on to let us know what they see.
I'm gonna take one small step back from the table real quick. I am going to tell the party, for your benefit, that I did not design any bosses in the Redshift campaign with the secret solution to be summon a whole ass army to roll initiative for on them. So,
I mean, what, you didn't expect that?
What?
I said, what, you didn't expect that?
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah. It was the secret the whole time that you had to like uncover. Otherwise, the boss would be unkillable, right?
Right.
Well,
So,
I mean, we can either have 100 level 2s or 10 level 20s.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Those are just
Right.
letting. So you can metagame a little bit, and consider that. Also, it's a lot more fun to only roll initiative for 5 people.
Facts.
Okay, I've stepped back to the table. The brigadier says, at least, it might be possible to get a small squad of reinforcements, especially if we try to arrange some kind of decoy plan here. I'd be worried about how we're going to house all of them in our relatively small obelisks. So I think we'd still have to work in pretty small teams overall. But
I mean, if they don't actually even have to fight,
Aaron. Lauren, I swear you'd be kicked out of any Cradian army. But
Lol.
That's how we roll.
okay. Okay, you want to?
Massive misdirect.
We have Arisa convince that proxy to appear before the dragon.
I think we actually need the proxy to deliver her army.
right? If she can bring her army to Alsane's, like even if all we can get them to do is to parade about Alsane's as if they are a prepared military force, we can make Alsane's the focus of whatever next attack they make, and then use the opportunity of them making that attack against effectively a phantom army.
Yeah.
To deal with their version of the obelisk while Daddy's not home.
I've totally seen that movie. It had Clint Eastwood in it.
Let us set aside the fact that as far as we know, the proxy is unstable, and we don't even know if that's something that can happen. Let's assume that it can happen. How are you suggesting that we notify the dragon that this army is there?
Just be loud.
pretty far away. I don't think they can hear us from here.
Well, they know what we've been doing so far.
They have some idea. I don't know that they really know.
Van says, they've been scrying on us now and then, but there's no way for us to predict when that's going to happen.
Right.
Or where, really. Or who.
It's too bad we don't know of a tavern I could go to and go sing the song wherein, I reveal the whole plan.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
They could be scrying on you or me right now.
if all we need to do is draw their attention, I mean, there are a couple of things that we could do. We could fake an attack on their lair and then retreat to All Saints. We could put off some grand magic here that would have to draw their attention, I suppose. I mean, there are options, right?
The Great Big Wasteland Anti-Dragon Rally?
Like a sign, we're coming to get you, sucker.
No, I mean 15 bands and a bunch of food trucks.
Yeah, you know Skywrite, right? That might work.
Yeah, a couple of us have Skywrite.
I actually think a couple of us do, right? Come now, party, party, party.
But if we just did a complete misdirect on narrative, set it up with a really great. We need several narratives. We need stories for the proxy army. We need stories for all kinds of things to happen. But if we shift to All Saints, we're better able to protect our friend over there. Grab Dex. I don't know. I hate to leave Chose undefended.
Though if we do shift their attention, then it doesn't need as strong a defense, right?
But it removes the obelisk unless we dismantle it and take it with us.
Yeah.
And that leaves Chose completely undefended. Like maybe we're never coming back kind of undefended.
No obelisk means we start back again at 0 when we come back there because the Redshift just takes.
We would have the rune thing, whatever that component part is, of an obelisk tuned to Chose. And maybe that could be buried somewhere in Chose so that we can dig it up later if we want to come back and make a thing here. But if we do some kind of a massive misdirect to head over to All Saints, leave Chose undefended, pull down the obelisk so they don't get that technology, and then shift everything to All Saints, where we actually have a close by place to put the kids, like in that cave, then maybe there's some possibility where we could do some goofy Skywrite message, intended for friends where they could scry upon it. It's like, oh, we made a dumbass mistake by skywriting, and they see it.
I don't know if they'd buy that.
I don't know that they'd buy it either, but if you're arrogant enough, you'll buy all kinds of weird stuff that's dumb.
Something like
I
that.
think if we
Very,
make
very risky.
If we make All Saints active enough, then it's just a matter of drawing their eye in that direction.
That's what I was thinking, yeah.
Which can be done a couple of different ways.
Yeah. I wasn't thinking we screwed up so much as look here while we flaunt you. Look, here.
No, I don't even think we need to, I think if we pretend like we're challenging them, I don't think they'll buy it, right? Because a red dragon is not the kind of, you don't do that, as far as I understand it.
Yeah, they're not stupid.
Well, and Vashta's not stupid. And if he comes home because we won, he could turn on a dime, and then we have to fight down Vashta.
Right. He can't come home to Alsanes, at least.
Yeah.
That's right. We killed the spell circle. Okay.
Yeah. But no, my thought was more along the lines of if we can make it look like we are preparing to deal with a red dragon in the traditional way of raising a force strong enough to deal with a red dragon, then all we need to do is make them aware of it, and then they'll want to move on it because they'll know that if they wait until we're ready, we'll have a force
It's a
capable of
threat,
taking
right.
on a red dragon, right?
Correct. Yeah.
So
At that
all we
point, it's a
need to
threat.
do is get them to be aware that we're doing it, and that could be as simple as intercepting a message. They could, I point to our Cobalt friends and I say, if we had a daring spy among them, we could even send one of them back with false information. Not that I'm suggesting we do that.
How about this? How about the rebel song? The little rebel song about the secret red dragon that we all have hidden.
Right. My point is simply that they just need to get the information. That's the problem we need to solve in that case. I mean, mind you, as the Brigadier has pointed out, there's a whole string of miracles that have to happen before we even get to that point, right?
Yeah, and my concerns with All Saints altogether are, one, the obelisk we have there is quite small, and two, our friend the tree. Being able to protect her.
Well, yeah, she's not the tree. Remember, she's the water.
Yeah.
That's right.
She
All
might
Saints
be
is
very useful in a fight against a dragon, for what it's worth.
Well, we haven't been to All Saints in a bit, so we should check to see how much water has come back. See what we can do to produce some growth there.
I think that more importantly,
But
whether or not we use the proxy's faux army or not, the point is that the five of us can't defeat a red dragon on our own. Or maybe we can, but it will probably take a lot more preparation. But if we can invade that layer and not be caught, all we have to do is destroy that obelisk or their equivalent of that.
I mean, I remember fighting the stuff before we made friends with fuck, I keep forgetting her name.
Eska?
Yeah, with Eska, and that stuff hurt. Like I'm not sure that
I agree.
proxy army is necessarily foe.
Right, that's fair. We didn't test them,
Yeah.
and they did physically move doors and stuff around, implying they had a presence.
If they're not a faux army and in fact just an army, like that's worth the effort.
If nothing else, it's defensive Alsanes without extra forces, right?
Exactly.
But I still think our best bet is infiltrating that lair, whether it's occupied or not, as a small, as a mouse rather than, a monster.
Yeah.
Oh, that does make sense.
How many small critters are actually around a dragon lair. I don't remember seeing any at the other ones I've been to. Chances are, because any warm-blooded thing would likely be a little snack.
I turn back to the Kobolds and I say, is the King's Chamber open to the sky?
Himmick looks down and says, I'm compelled to tell you the answer because you have defeated and then fed us. But you realize that if I betray the king this way and his children this way and tell you how to get into his lair, he will devour you.
I understand. Don't worry about us.
I am tasty but poisonous.
Make me one promise, then. One thing.
What would you ask?
Our families who do not fight, they live at the bottom of the volcano. They will not try to kill you if you do not try to kill them. They are gatherers, laborers, and children.
Don't fear. You have my word.
You can kill us, the warriors. We were made to fight monsters.
I understand. No one who lives in that volcano will come to harm unless they attempt to harm us. Is that fair?
And even if we
Most
do,
likely the salamanders and the imps will attempt to stop you, should they find you there.
yeah,
But yes, the king's chambers are in the caldera. It is open to the sky. It is where he keeps his gold and his other treasures.
Interesting.
Fairmont.
But if you were to scale the mountain, the lords and lady who live in the towers surrounding the peak would surely spot you.
Right, but if I flew in,
No bird flies above the volcano. They would likely die. If you did that, it would at the very least seem unusual.
okay.
Montlaran, I'm not sure that Misty Step breaks your momentum.
Yeah, actually, I was going to say the text of the spell doesn't actually answer that question.
I think I recall a sage advice on that one, but Featherfall is in fact the spell that you'd want in that case. There is a spell for precisely this situation.
But I mean, what's the likelihood that they're looking straight up and very high?
Well,
I mean, they are probably really high, but
At least some of them.
a 10 says, Kimmick, we are going to be eaten. You have told them too much. When the king finds out, he'll be...
I feel sorry for
the
them.
king will have to eat a beholder
Doesn't matter
before
that
they'll
he's ever
eat
done.
you. And I don't think they're going to eat our beholder because he's backed up by some serious force. You're fine. You're not going to be eaten.
that force being that he's
I could probably
beholder.
throw the toe with a dragon. I mean, I wouldn't want to do it solo. Maybe I'm sure I could Most likely.
I once got into a deep conversation and argument in a bar with a person about how, a beholder could potentially kill a red dragon.
There's a
All of
It
its
would be
spells
pretty-
are already
it-
nullified.
yeah. It might be real fast, actually. Like, if the wrong rolls, it could be like first round.
There's a certain set of scenarios where,
Beholders are accidental badasses in quite a few circumstances.
But also, like, in the middle of the plane or something like that, if they were just to square off, the dragon might just,
But also, literally the first thing the beholder does could be disintegrate, at which point the red is done.
Good point.
Reds only have one head. If that head gets disintegrated, it's over. But then they also have stone. They also like come on, list the things that beholder eyes do. It's all done. It's all
the
there.
dragons have legendary resistance.
Yeah.
I was gonna say it's
Yeah.
surefire. Yeah.
No, they have to fail. They have to fail the save, but it's like fail the save every roll. Or sorry, make your save every roll, because every time the beholder's still alive, the dragon's making a save or dead.
Yeah. Some of those though are gonna be like, oh, sleep. No.
Sure enough. I mean, sleep still, though. If it's a fail, they sleep.
No,
Dragons
dragon
do
will
sleep.
resist that. Like I don't think you can fail that as a dragon. I'm not sure though.
Oh, dragons.
I wonder
I'm pretty
if
sure
they're
dragons do
bathed-
sleep. No, I think dragons do sleep.
If a dragon is bathed in the anti-magic eye, would it still have all of its magic resistances?
Interesting.
That's another. Oh shit! I forgot the main eye was anti-magic.
Anti-magic just
that.
suppresses spells. It doesn't suppress magical
magic.
creatures.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
But
Fair
that
enough.
does mean that the dragon can't cast, right?
Right. Yeah,
Okay.
like you cannot summon an undead inside an anti-magic field, but you can summon an undead outside of an anti-magic field and then make it walk into the anti-magic field and then go get a thing and it'll be fine.
Oh, okay. I thought
Sure
that
enough.
anti-magic field dispelled magic items and stuff.
It merely
It-
suppresses them.
Yeah, it
Okay.
makes it so they don't cast while it's looking at.
It doesn't. It suppresses items and doesn't harm inherently magical creatures as long as they're not actively being animated by a currently being cast spell. Essentially,
I'm also going to wax Grognard a little bit and say that your red is basically your most bitch of an evil dragon, and I'm pretty sure greater. I'm going to say greater beholder could knock down your basic red.
I thought the bitch dragon was the black.
Bitch evil.
No, the bitch evil dragon was the black dragon.
A swamp? You think?
nowadays it's the white one.
Oh, really?
It's the pissy baby dragon. Yeah.
That feels sad to me, but I see it. I see how that happened.
Well, they're also stupid, so you're supposed to not play them with good tactics.
Oh,
Although
Oh,
they
is that
still
why
have,
they're
like,
a
a six-
lower combat rating than the rest of them?
yeah, because you're supposed to play them dumb.
They also have a 16 intelligence, which means they're not actually stupid, but people play them
Right.
like they have a 3 intelligence anyway. So
Yeah, I was going to say 16 is not a beast. 16 is smarter than your average. In fact, in the tower I live in, where there are 900 some odd people, 16.
oh no, I'm
like-
sorry. They have 8 intelligence. Okay,
Oh, shit.
They're
Wow.
pretty dumb.
Oh, there's lots of 8s around here. Bum, 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 bum.
They're a bit dim.
Roar.
Wow, an ancient white only has an int of 10.
Wow, an
That's
ancient
what I
white?
was thinking of for the 10.
Ancient white, int of 10 is like 3-year-old, like 6-year-old,
I
right?
know, a
6.
10 is average. 10,
10
No.
is average human adult.
Okay, but that's like,
but only average human adult.
yeah, that's like 4th
Yeah.
grade, maybe like 6th grade.
Yeah,
Literacy, maybe?
like green dragons have like a 24.
Some high
intelligence,
school.
right?
Some high school. Okay, I'll give you that. So an ancient ice dragon that's been living for thousands of years is like, huh, bro,
Do you know the earth is flat?
bro. Dude, I'll let you all live if you let that babe of a cleric live with me.
Literally true. Yes.
Hey, dragons can, be human form. Oh my god. It's been a while since I dungeon mastered. Now I kind of want to.
No.
No, but
Yeah,
exactly
no,
that. Yeah,
that's
you got it.
hilarious.
Exactly that. I want to do Surfer Planet D&D.
I mean, this is why the
It's amazing.
This is why the dad dragon is
You're
not a
so
white
goofy.
dragon. And
I think it'd be hilarious.
It would be hilarious, but you're still goofy.
Thank you. You're not the first to say.
Anytime.
In fact, only people I really like have called me that. So.
Dragons.
My favorite for many years of my life, dude.
So it sounds like there's the makings of an idea here.
Well, yeah. Maybe. There's a lot of maybe in this.
Joke.
Beginnings of an idea, I think was the right way to put that.
Yeah.
If we can get to that caldera from above without being seen, we could potentially infiltrate it. However, if what our friends say is to be trusted, and I, for one, trust them, we can also infiltrate from the bottom up without much resistance at first, at least, which might allow us to plan further as we go based on what we see,
I still think. I mean, are we still talking about a caldera in the north, or are we talking about the known volcano in the south?
No, it's north of here. It's the one that we didn't quite get to when we were going north.
Well, we didn't quite get to it by a couple days worth of flight. So
where is the artifact kept? The one
suspended by chains in the caldera.
In the caldera. Okay.
Yeah.
Kimmik says the forgers say it was put there when the king first claimed his kingdom.
Makes sense.
The forgers?
Yes, the ones who make the weapons for us, the gold, the tools.
all right, so
Lord Eth commands them.
Lord who?
Eth.
Is that another prince?
Yes.
Okay, so that's the prince we haven't seen?
Why haven't we seen this prince? Who is this in the family? A mind amongst brutes?
He commands the forgers. He does not scavenge the land.
Where is he in the hierarchy?
With the lords, of course.
No, but I mean, like, even Morio seemed to be on the lower end of the hierarchy in his lordship.
Guza says it's true that they Lord Daymar is the oldest, and from there, the oldest takes priority over the youngest. Lord Eth is the youngest of the lords.
Interesting. What kind of character is Eith?
Kimik says, we warriors do not have much need to speak with him, but from the times we have met and worked with the forgers, he observes, and we are careful not to offend so that he does not judge us poorly while we are working.
So you haven't seen much of him. Makes sense.
I have in my notes from conversations with Magnus and others that he commands Azers.
You mean like those dwarf fuckers with the beards that are on fire?
Dwarf fuckers!
The forgers do breathe fire, yes.
Their beards are on fire, if I heard correctly.
Yes. Well, they are flame.
They're a great enemy of your people, aren't they?
We have lived side by side with them under our king for generations.
Oh no, not you. I meant the dwarf here, Ambergreen.
Yes?
You.
I don't know. My people did not live under the rock. We lived above ground.
We are used to seeing strange things. I have never seen people quite like several of you.
Ever seen a gnome before?
Gnome?
I am a gnome.
What does... Well, no.
We are the greatest and most wonderful beings throughout all the land.
That's funny. I was just about to say, gnome means forsaken by God. Didn't you hear that?
And it totally depends who you're talking to. So have a sense of humor.
Don't listen to them. We're known for having giant members and great hearts. And we live forever. And
members of your clubs, because very clearly you have very teeny tiny members. I mean,
what are you talking about? No. The gnome has a normal-sized penis. That's what I'm trying to say.
A normal, GNORMAL, normal size.
Oh my!
You asked for it.
I don't think I did.
I didn't either.
Well,
Thank you very much.
You didn't. No.
Where were we exactly?
I don't know. The poor guy at the table is like, what the fuck?
We were talking about race relations.
Didn't know what a fucking
Normalcy. Normalize.
I was just telling him what a gnome was.
This is like, I'm polynomial, right?
Oh my god. Jokes. I'm just saying. Go on for so long. We need to put this on a Twitter feed so it just runs. You should normalize short people, you know.
A 10 says, we've fought so many strange monsters, but there's none of them have ever talked to us.
No, that's because
Do you like it? Do you like being able to talk to the weird people that you've met? And Naya's laughing.
Yeah, we're the worst kind of monster.
We are definitely weird.
She shakes her head.
She shakes her head. It's not fun. Aw,
Yeah, no.
I'm sorry. We'll
have to do better.
Weird and kind of goofy, and we we don't take ourselves very seriously. So we cultivate a sense of humor. It's actually kind of important because we're largely not totally sane. And so humor helps us get through some of the quite serious situations we found ourselves in.
I take myself very seriously. I don't know what she's talking about.
The sense is honestly, I agree.
Well, you should feel good to be in our company. We're the best kind of monsters. The ones that will recruit you to our cause or, keep you from helping the bad guys. We don't, necessarily eat you unless we get hungry.
Get out, will you please? They're already scared. You don't need to make it worse. It's not kind.
As I wipe my hands on my salamander skin tunic, I say, we don't actually eat our enemies. That's ridiculous.
Right? Wiping your hand on your salamander skin tunic. Yeah. Let's not bring attention to that.
Jarlax says, hey, they beat the shit out of me. And now I hang out at the table. So,
He's a goblin. Watch out for that one. They might actually eat you.
I don't think you have to worry about that happening either.
They bare their teeth and say, we eat pig and bird.
Yeah.
Yeah, us too.
We do too.
I'll eat just about anything if I see you eat it first.
Oh, I'm sure illusionists have a lot of fun with you.
For you, we have the same rations supplier.
That's hilarious.
No, I'm a gnome. Gnomes are known for not being tricked by simple illusions.
In 7th grade, I actually got an award, not an award, but a prize for getting up on stage and swallowing a live goldfish.
That seems like abuse.
I believe that.
It was during
You're just goofy enough to do that.
It was during one of our dances. There was like, who will come up here and swallow a live goldfish? And I was like, isn't that like the standard thing that you do in those hip hop, ha ha ha, summer fun movies? I'll do it. I went up there and swallowed a goldfish. What?
Poor goldfish.
I like sushi.
Yeah, but it was only swallowing size. It barely got a chance to get big.
Sure enough, but I got a snack. And a prize. I got a prize for eating a snack.
Huh. Well, it's...
I think we have a bunch of thinking to do and a bunch of further brainstorming to do on this.
Yes, and I can sense the thread of continuity running thin. So,
yes. I feel like my priorities are gathering intelligence So as soon as this Redshift ends, I would like to have already been prepared and fly north to scout out the situation. And we've already done the preliminary math on how long it will take. And I think we estimated it was close to 5 days, possibly
that
6.
sounds about right.
And we didn't get that far before, which is fortunate because those cauldrons would have incinerated Jose. But I kind of hate to keep everybody evacuated, but I think that is the wiser move for now. Because as I'm heading north with whoever's coming with me, they could be heading south. And so you'd lose 2 aces out trying to scout this while the city is being attacked. I mean, we need information and we need time.
Burrow says, hey, you didn't you say that you're one of the ones who teleports, your boss back and forth? And Guza nods and says, yes, I have acted in a team of conjurers for years.
Oh, I see what you're thinking.
Crow says, so say you had some help. Could you, send a few people besides your boss over there? You go to a circle, right?
Oh, that's a good plan. That's a good plan. I like that. The samurai said something smart.
Do you not think I'm smart?
I didn't say that. I just said you said something smart. I was just pointing out the fact.
Angela says, it's okay, Kuro. I think you're smart.
I didn't say that he wasn't.
Sharp says, so we take a circle. I mean, they'd have to be expecting that at some point, right?
Oh.
So long as we've captured one of their...
if you think about the timing between the battles that we've had with other princes, how much time went by before the next one? And it was like a year between those battles, maybe longer.
Jabalak says, well, there was a couple of times we ran into the giant and the...
Right, and the sister. But then the actual battle was months after that. And the first one was Morio, then the twins, then Basha, and now these 2 princes, Arcturus and Daimar. We only have one more kid left, one more prince left, and then Daddy. And it's like, we could take history and say, well, based on history, we wouldn't expect them to attack immediately. But on the other hand, Daddy might be so pissed that he flies out of that lair himself and comes down here to fire up Jose's barbecue.
The Brigadier says it would be remarkably arrogant, foolish to think that we're going to sit here and wait for a year and still be here when they decide to finally attack.
Well, they're nothing if not arrogant, so there's that. But
this is
Yeah,
true.
fair enough. But if we were all here and rested when that started, I mean, I don't know, man. Level 10, just me. If I'm well rested and it's just me, I'm just thinking all of us L10 well rested are probably not a force to be, trifled with.
Van says, the kids have territories. We got through Morio's territory, and then we got to Nasharala and Zorimos' territory, and then it took us a while to break through after that and get to Vashta's territory. And then he bailed.
Right, but in the
I was going to say, then
meantime,
Vashta fucked off. Vashta was like,
But in the meantime, each one of those princes that we defeated did not initially and immediately produce retaliation.
Right, because they didn't know where we were most of the time. I mean, didn't Zorimos literally randomly see you walking across the swamp?
Yeah. A sea of flowers, I think is where we were headed.
right, yeah, something like that.
I mean, if we assume that they've had Morio this whole time, maybe they were out there hunting for you.
I don't know. I think it's interesting, though, that when I look back at it, and I am actually quite concerned about an immediate retaliatory strike by Daddy-O. When I look at the history, that did not happen, ever.
If we're all well rested in the retaliatory strike is coming from Daddy, that's top of the line. If we that's win or lose. That's do it, right? Do it.
Yep.
We kick that ass, there is no ass to be kicked. We're done.
Well, yeah, I'm not suggesting that that's an easy thing, but I'm more concerned with right now, and the reason I bring it up is timing. I want to, as soon as the Redshift is over, fly north so we can scope out with somebody to scope out the lair, because we never got that far. When everybody decided they were going to come with us and come with me, and so we only got like 2.5 days out before we found the kobolds and Arcturus. Actually got to the northern lair. Now we need to go see what that is and see what we're up against. My worry is that as soon as I depart with somebody, that Daddy-O brings his crew back down here and barbecues Chose.
Yeah, we all need to be there for Daddy-O. We all need to be here for that.
So that's my worry.
I agree with that.
And I don't know what to do about it, honestly.
I think honeypot is a good idea if we can lure him. I mean, like,
If I was a dragon, I wouldn't give my enemies a chance to rest if I could avoid it.
right, we're all going to get a rest up and be ready to go, at which point, send it. Come on.
Well, that's why, I agree. If it was me, I wouldn't give them a chance to rest either, but why wouldn't they have done that all those years in the past?
Mixed.
They never did.
Mixed ambitions. The kids aren't reporting clearly, and the Daddy doesn't really have a good idea what's going on, and mixed ambitions.
You said it yourself. Chose is the closest we've ever been to their lair.
Remember what Vashta said? He made a comment about Dad being too lazy or something to not even get out of bed. What if Dad isn't really capable of that kind of strike? And he hasn't been for a while, which is why the kids go out. But it takes a while to mobilize.
They might even not know. They might not even know. He doesn't have to show them a show of force. They're his kids. He could rise up from his fucking pile of gold and be like, "Rawr, rawr, rawr, big bad, go do. I won't."
Daymare did also call his summon his illusionary dragon, his father as well.
Wait, what?
Don't you remember when he summoned a dragon?
Well, it must have been his father when he was still young, because if he's been
Or
there
are
for
you-
1,000 years, that wouldn't have been him in his current state.
Right, so
Are
he's
you
summoning him
implying-
as like a mirror image, something.
Are you implying that there is no red dragon?
I'm saying
Well,
there
there's the possibility that
might be.
something's.
All I'm saying is that he called the spirit, his dad.
Right.
He conjured the spirit in the likeness of his dad. Before they left, I thought I heard him
Is it
say,
Patronus?
"Father is going to be pissed," as if
He
no,
did
that's
say
Yes.
not.
Yeah.
Oh, we
So,
heard that more than once.
We
yeah.
did hear that, yes.
So that is definitely not. It isn't just some illusion or manufactured
No.
thing. It's a real.
No,
It's a real dude.
It could be an idea. Oh, when we pray tonight, Daddy's gonna be pissed. Like, it all depends on how that manifests. I'm sure there are people talking about how God's gonna be mad about something that, I mean,
Yeah, though we've had more than one account of folks being punished. So there's something, even if there isn't like a physical dragon, there's some sort of will or force that has some effect. I'm willing to bet there's a dragon up there, though. Like, the volcano is.
Oh, I definitely think there's a dragon. I don't think he's dead or gone or anything. But if Vashta's correct that his dad doesn't actually get off his pile of gold or whatever,
right, might not give a fuck.
yeah, he might just have gotten fat and lazy and old. He may not be super quick to mobilize, which might explain why we haven't seen retaliatory strikes in like years.
Yeah,
I guess I'm kind of worried that as soon as we leave, there's going to be a retaliatory strike, and we won't be here to help. I'm worried about that. I'm worried that that we'll run out of time, and we only have like a week or 1 to 2 weeks of clear before the Redshift happens again, and then we have to deal with that. And we only have this brief window of time where we can actually move. If we're going to go to All Saints, then we need to be like ready to go as soon as the Redshift is over, and haul ass to All Saints, or some part of us, some group, has to be ready to go. The group up at the house with the telescope, I know it's boring, but I don't know that that's any worse or better than the cave. So it's like maybe they should stay there and keep somebody on the telescope to let us know what they see.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
But then, if we shift troops, what we have here, and we shift everybody to All Saints and dismantle the obelisk here, maybe travel under cover of night or something, I don't know. And then kind of do our own version of like misdirection so that it looks like Jose's happening still, but we're over in All Saints. Or we're in the cave in All Saints. Even better. I don't know. I'm kind of thinking like all the different ways that we could possibly misdirect without having to actually combat and buy a little time. Because it's one whole Redshift cycle just to get to All Saints and get people ensconced there safely. It's another whole cycle to get to the proxy and figure that out. Each one of these takes time.
I think we skip all that and we go straight to the volcano.
Boy, that's a ballsy move. especially since we don't have any info right now. I mean, besides what our kobold friends have told us.
Yeah, we have an understanding of the kinds of things we might find there, but not their number or anything like that at all. It's a risk.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, if you're saying that the sagest advice in a fight is to not let your enemy rest, then that's the move we make that doesn't allow them to rest, right?
It's true.
I think, I mean, several people have mentioned that that's what they would do, is retaliate immediately. I don't know if it's the sagest advice.
Fair enough. I mean, I'm not even advocating it as the sagest advice, but I do think since we don't actually have to fight a dragon to accomplish a victory, a small group might be able to pull it off. And we're a small group.
Yep.
This is the stuff legends are made of.
Yep. A lot to consider here for sure. There's a lot of ways this can go, and I still don't know what other means and methods they have, what other bases they might have established that they can go back and forth to, or if it really is just that location. And it seems like the princes have their own lairs or hideouts in different places, perhaps. If Arturus is in somewhere in the snowy mountains or something, that does not seem like anywhere within the area of the Redshift that we're aware of.
Well, there's a mountain range we haven't explored, to be fair.
That's true.
And Vashta might not be able to use his own spell circle to get back to All Saints quickly, but if he can use Dad's artifact, he could get there pretty quickly and fly from the lair to All Saints and still be there waiting for us when we arrive. And he may not be a friend. So then we have to, tackle some kind of a fight with him. I'd much rather he be an ally, but given that we still have fights left with the dragons, I don't think we should expect anything from Vashta except maybe some hostility until he doesn't have to face down his own father.
Right. Well, if we simply make them all go home, then hopefully he gets the happy ending he's looking for.
Hopefully. He did say he did mention hanging out for several months at his mother's.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't want us to do anything impetuous particularly, but I also feel like
Awesome.
I'm really glad we have downtime to figure this out, because it would really be easy to go off half-cocked if we weren't kind of stuck here to think about it and talk about it. And there's so many ways it can go wrong. I mean, it's very risky no matter what we do.
Allow me to suggest that piece of homework for the team to maybe think about the options and some plans, because we most likely have a week before anything is going to happen. And it might be a good time for us to mark that as something for you all to ponder and come back with good ideas next week.
Sounds good.
Okay. Cool.
Got it.
All right. So let's do that. You all have some ideas about what you might want to do to solve this problem.
Yeah.
So we'll go to the title screen and then we'll call that a game for the night.
Sounds good. Thanks for hosting, everyone. Thanks for joining out there. Thanks for watching, and have a good night.
Thanks for being the dungeon master, and thanks for being the audience, and thanks for being the player.